I'm gonna give you a reason to hold on, because you are too close now. Never let go. Never let go, never let go. No matter what you're going through. Never let go, never let go. You're so close. Come on, tell them you are so close. You are so close now. Never let go. Never let go, never let go. It might be raining. Never let go, never let go. Come on, God is with you. He's more than the world against you. No, 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 no. No, no, no. Won't be any dancing. Won't be any dancing. Thank you. All right. So good morning to everyone. Thank you all for being here, sacrificing your time on a good Saturday morning. We know traffic is something to behold. I mean, why do they close down all the lanes on Saturday morning? Who does that? But nevertheless, we're here. We're live streaming to Facebook and all of our other social media platforms, so people that are stuck in traffic or can't necessarily be here are able to view this. Can you open that? First thing I want you guys to do is take one of these cards and an ink pen, and I want you to write something on here for me. So everybody get a card and an ink pen, and I want you to write your social security number, your bank account number, where you live. No? Come on, Mother McGee, no? Okay, all right. All right, well, we'll scratch that. We'll scratch that. Keep your social security number, but do first name at the top. Just do first name, make it simple. First name, last initial, just in case we got two of the same first names in here. And on the card, I want you to write 2 things about yourself that are true and 1 thing that's not true. But listen, I don't want you to make your 1 thing that's not true a blue foot. I was born in Georgia. I'm a man, and I have a blue foot. We can clearly tell which one of those is not true. So kind of make your not true statement kind of hard to figure. Not too hard, okay? You get what I'm saying? Like, don't say you were born in China, because we kind of can gather that you probably wasn't. So 2 truths, 1 untruth. Look, my sister is thinking. She's an educator, Andre, so you know she gotta figure it out. Make it real light. Make it real light. And when you're done with that, just pass that to the end of, well, we don't have too many hours. I'll come and scoop them up from you. Oh, okay, so our board member was not listening. Just 2 truths and 1 lie. What? Oh, come on. This is a relationship. This is every Sunday. No, 2 truths and 1 untruth. 2 truths and a lie. So just kind of make it, and put your first name and last initial at the top. Okay? I didn't know there's going to be a pop quiz today, Andre. And we're going to grade these, and whoever fails, we're kicking you out. No. 2 truths and a lie. 2 truths and a lie. Yeah, I just gave y'all permission to tell an untruth in church. Everybody got a card and a pen? Yes? Thank you. See, we keep it simple, don't we, brother? It's not hard for us. Oh, you will. You done? Oh, see? First one. Hurry up. It's my brother. 2 truths and a lie. 2 truths and a lie. Done? Okay, we'll see. Okay. Thank you, sir. All right. Got some good stuff. Make it legible. Make it legible, Josh. Make it legible. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I'm your brother. I can talk about you. Handwriting's terrible. 2 truths and a lie. Pastor, you're not writing no sermon. Can we just keep it? Don't start with John, 1st chapter. All right, just, you know. He got Matthew, the 2nd chapter, up on top of his. He's my cousin, so I can do that, you know. Oh, my daughter's participating. I love this. I bet you got on here that I'm your daddy, right? Your mama didn't tell you? She didn't tell you? No? Did you turn yours in, Tracy? Oh, gosh. Your own wife, I tell you. All right, anybody else? We good? Okay, so while we're wrapping it up, let me be the first to say welcome to all of you guys for coming. Thank you, Mother. We really want you guys to get a lot of information from this. but above all, build relationships, get to know some people, have fun, okay? Don't sit there like you're not gonna pay a lot for this muffler. We want you to, that's a commercial from the 90s if you guys, I'm not gonna pay a lot for this muffler. You guys didn't watch TV in the 90s, did you? Okay. Look, that was my commercial. But who folds their paper like this? This is not a prize, you see? Only the pastor and the first lady. Oh, I tell you. But seriously, we're glad you're here. To be honest, we know everybody's not in business. So this is a specific event for a very specific crowd. These individuals on this stage, a lot of success. I can probably tell you there are millions of dollars in revenue sitting right here, and that would not be an exaggeration at all. Some of these people are now going to be my business mentors. They don't know it yet, but I got all your information. so pick their brains. Ask questions. Ask plenty of questions. If you need to ask a question, just raise your hand. I'm going to give you a microphone and shoot from the hip. Be real with the questions. Don't sugarcoat it, because we want to get you the information that you feel you need to do whatever you want with a business. Be that start out slow and work your business on the side, or be that just quit work one day and try it. Nevertheless, no matter how you do that, that's going to take an abundance of information. So welcome to all of you. That's kind of the reason why we're here, is to disseminate information. We want to pass out information. I think Andre and I were talking on the phone about how many questions we get about business. And Ike and myself, I was just at Ike's wife's birthday party, and we just fell into talking about business and what people were asking us and the questions we have to answer. So this kind of format where you can just kind of talk to people and get your questions answered on a one-on-one basis is golden. So take advantage of the opportunity, all right? So with that said, I'm going to turn it over to these guys. I'm going to let them briefly introduce themselves, and we'll kind of go from there. So, Andre, you want to start us off?
Good morning, everybody. How you all doing? My name is Andre Williams, and I am the founder and president of Pivotal Wealth Management. I'm a financial advisor. I help clients with wealth building strategies, investments, retirement, et cetera, Very excited to be here today because this conversation is one that's desperately needed, especially in our communities. And I'm looking forward to the engagement today, and hopefully shed a little light on some educational pointers that you all can use for your personal businesses. Thank you.
Good morning. Like Andre said, it's an honor to be here. Anytime that you're in the house of the Lord, it's an honor. My name is Derek Booker. You know, I got a whole bunch of titles, I guess, or whatever. You know, really don't care much about that. But I'm in the business of helping you protect your assets. The things that you work hard for, I help you protect. So when you come to me, I'm that protection guy.
Good morning. My name is Delvina. I am the office manager and the HR specialist at Divine Accounting Finance. So I basically cover and maintain the office of Divine.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Desnita Weeks. I'm the accountant and financial specialist. I'm David's accountant. I am here to educate and hopefully emerge you guys with a wealth of knowledge about starting businesses and the tax benefits that you guys can, allowed. Hopefully you guys are ready.
Hello, my name is Jeff Lovejoy. I live in the neighborhood. I work as a business coach. I've been doing it for 15 years, and what that means is I work with owners to help them take their businesses to the next level. After these people have helped get the business set up, business owners typically hit the plateau, and they don't know how to overcome that plateau, and my role is to help them grow it beyond that plateau.
All right, so thank you, guys. And trust me, Delvina is not that shy on the phone. She's got to warm up, but she beats me up on the phone. Thanks. Okay. Thank you, sir. All right, we got them all? All right. Pick a card, any card. Pick 2 cards. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. You got enough. I gave you 3. I'm trying to be difficult. And there you go. Okay. All right. What I want you guys to do, all right? I want you to read the cards, right? I want you to read the cards, and the audience is going to guess what the untruth is. So, Andre, I don't want you to say, these are the 2 truths, and this is the untruth. Because someone may have wrote, you get what I'm saying, right? You're a smart guy. All right, so when he reads the first name, just raise your hand. You don't have to stand if you don't want to be put on the spot. But go, Andre.
Chloe Reese. You got to stand.
Stand up, baby, stand up.
I'm 11. I like shopping. I like food.
Which one of those are not true? Can anybody guess? Which one of those statements isn't true? She's 11, she likes to shop, and she loves food. I can tell you right now which one of those are not true. Y'all are guessing. Anyone? Everybody's guess is she's not 11. She's not 11? That's your own, boy, it's your own niece. Jesus, his own niece. Family. So the consensus is that she's not 11. Everybody agree? Mother McGee, she's not 11? Now, she was born in this church. You should know. Not 11? Okay. All right, Pooh, you want to stand and tell us what the untruth is? Stand up. How old are you? She's 10. She's about to be 11 in a couple of weeks. So that's close. Next one.
Shawanda Branch. Yeah, stand up. I am a teacher of 26 years. I am the oldest of 5. I have a degree in mass communications.
Which one of those are not true?
She's the baby.
Now those are pretty. That's my sister, and those are pretty good ones. She's an English teacher, so you could tell. Oh. Now which one of those are not true? Which one of those are not true? She is the oldest of 5. Yeah. It's only 4 of us? It's only 4 of us? I thought there was another one of us. No. Who would have thunk it? Next one.
Ike. Is it Platinum? Oh, it's a cool last name. All right. I'm a realtor and entrepreneur. I am a husband and father. I am a Wall Street shark.
Which one of those are not true? Anybody can guess.
Ike Platinum.
Your name ain't Ike Platinum, is it? I'm not buying that last name. That's not your name. Hey, his name is not Platinum. That's the untruth. Anybody? Anybody want to guess what the untruth is? He's not a Wall Street shark. I thought it was Platinum. I'm like, there's no way. You know. Derek, your turn, sir.
Miss Natasha L.
Uh-oh.
Okay. I'm an educator. I have traveled to 15 countries. I have 2 businesses.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Okay. So it's 17 countries.
13? 2. Okay. 2. All right. You lying in the church, and you the pastor's wife. Okay, you speaking in there. I like how you did that.
All right, Mr. Walter L. Okay. I'm married. I'm a father. I read the book of Frank in the Bible.
Well, All right, now if you get this one wrong, we know you don't go to church. Mother McGee,
Right
you better
along
not
with
miss
the
this
Jimmy.
one. We know you don't go to church if you get this one wrong. Yeah. 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 That's the Book of Frank. That's the new edition. Guys missed out. All right, Derek, you got any more?
One more.
One more.
Okay, Pastor Vic. Okay, I was a radio announcer. I sang with a professional choir. I worked with the police department.
Ooh, 3 good ones. 3 good ones. He said he worked with Herschel Walker. That's a violation. That was unnecessary. Yeah, we broadcasting. You can't do that. That's too soon. You can't do that. That's a violation. You was a police officer? Which one of those are not true?
I was not a junior deputy.
Okay, you weren't a junior deputy. Hey, they give those badges out, John. Look, they give them out. Miss Weiss, you ready?
Okay. Can y'all hear me? Okay, great. John J. Oh, okay. Youngest of 11 children. I've turned from SC to CA. Oh, toured. Okay.
No worries.
And Miami to Canada singing. At the age of 14, I was shuffled around to sing in funerals, weddings, etc.
Ooh. Oh, wow. That's interesting. Boy, you put some thought. Anybody guess which one of them ain't true?
I would say the one about Canada's not true.
Yeah, to Canada.
Yeah, you don't look like you've been to Canada, John. I'm sorry, I'm not buying that. No, he ain't go to no Canada. I'm going with Vic on that one. You didn't go to Canada. Anybody else want to agree with me on that one?
I'm gonna go with the Canada.
Now, I can go with you with singing at funerals. I can go with that. You toured around singing at funerals. I can see that. But you didn't go to Canada.
I'm crying.
No. Y'all agree with me? No Canada. So, which one?
It's the third one. I didn't do it at 14. I did it at 15. 13.
Okay.
So you did go to Canada? Listening to you, man. He went to Canada. So you went around singing at funerals? Oh, wow. He said sing something.
Growing up, I sung, and I didn't have a driver's license, so the chauffeur would show up, and they would send a car to pick me up to take me to sing wherever I need to go.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no.
He said next Sunday. Wow.
Come on, you can do it. Precious Lord.
Miss Reese, you got another one?
Right? Joshua. So I've been a professional athlete. I've traveled around the world. I play 3 different instruments.
I can tell you which round. He ain't no professional athlete. I tell you that right now. He not no professional athlete. I'm telling y'all the answer to that one. He not no professional athlete.
No, he is.
Trying to help y'all. Not a professional athlete. So which one y'all think is not true?
Not true.
The instrument.
You didn't play 2 instruments. That's 1. He played 1. That's my brother. I can do that too. He's not no professional athlete. He think he is, but he's not. No, he's not. Tennis. He plays tennis. He don't play basketball. Play no basketball. Miss Weiss, you got another one?
Yeah, I'm trying to read the handwriting.
Tracy, can you go outside and get Jason's deli, please? Thank you.
AD.
Oh, Lord Jesus. Turning in the assignment late. Mother McGee, she turning in their paper late. Lord, there got to be some demerits or something for that.
Okay. The youngest of 3 kids used to sing opera and speak French fluently.
Ooh, now that's pretty good. Youngest of 3 kids used to sing opera and speak French fluently. Josh, that means oui, you know, you'll get it later. You'll get it later. Y'all don't think she's the youngest of 3? Okay. Is that a consensus? Mother McGee know the answer to this one. Mother McGee know the answer to this one. So you don't think she's the youngest of three? Now she got some good ones. I give it to you. That was pretty good. So you don't think she's the youngest of three? Anybody gonna go with John? You don't think she speaks French fluently? No. Okay. So we kind of see you splitting the audience for the first time. Everybody's kind of divided. So come on now, y'all. What's it gonna be? Does she speak French fluently? No, she don't. Is she the youngest of three? She's the youngest of three. And what was the other one?
The other one was...
So y'all think she's an opera singer? No, you can't say nothing. No. So y'all seriously think she's an opera singer? Huh? I'm just throwing some salt in the game. Y'all think she can do some opera? And she speaks French fluently? Yeah.
Yes, fluently.
Oh, boy, you threw salt in the game with it. Way to go, girl. You brought it home with this one. You good. Come on now. This tough one, John. You on the city council of Brookhaven. You don't want to make us look bad. No, she don't speak no French fluently. I'm not buying that. I'm not. The opera thing, I can probably go with that because, you can probably do that in the shower or in the garage. But I'm not going with that fluent French thing. I'm with you on that, John. Y'all with me and John? Oh. She's not the youngest of three kids. Okay. Look, Deacon Lackey kind of struggling. What you say, D? Break the tie. We all over the place. yeah. Hey, Vic, she got us on that one now. Because she says French fluently. See, that's... Oh, her name is Antoinette? Come on. What the lady's name? Marion Antoinette? Come on, John. That's French. Yeah, fluently part. I'm not over the fluently part. See? Yeah, see? All right. Tell us which one is not true. I knew it. That Antoinette thing wasn't going to fool me. I knew it. I'm not buying the opera thing. You know what's going to happen Sunday. Oh, really? Okay. So you can do that? Okay, Sunday, we're going to see. We're going to see Sunday, ain't we?
Oh.
Vic say. All right, let's go to the next one.
Okay. Valerie R. Okay. I love mac and cheese. I enjoy traveling, and I love to shop.
Ooh. Why would you do that? I'm your own brother, and I don't know which one's a lie. Okay, does she love mac and cheese? She loves to travel, and she loves to shop. Ooh, that's good. I'm your own brother, and I don't know which one is a lie. I mean, you must be crazy. We grew up on mac and cheese. Come on, man. You know that. You know that's the truth. Now, Derek, come on now. We're from the country. You can't be lactose intolerant in the country. You have a choice. She don't like, she don't like mac and cheese because she's lactose intolerant. That's what one person says. And she don't like shopping because she's been to Buckhead. That's what another person said. So come on, audience, what y'all think? She don't like mac and cheese. I'm not buying that, Mother McGee. She do like mac and cheese. That's required. She loves to shop. She's a woman. Come on now, Miss Mother McGee. She's a woman. She loves to shop. Let's go ahead and tell her. That ain't no gender thing. That's the truth. She loves to shop. And what was the last one?
I love to travel.
Love to travel.
I'm not buying that love to travel thing. I'm not buying that. Love to travel. See, that's subjective. You see what she's doing there, John? Love to travel. You probably like to travel. You see what I did there? You see? Yeah, see? You playing word games. Yeah, you playing word game. Yeah, what's the answer? You what? Do mama know that? She was adopted. She was adopted. Yeah, she's not really my sister. She's not really my sister. She was adopted. She's not really my sister. No, she was adopted. She's not really my sister. She's adopted. No. You don't like mac and cheese?
He said, I'll call him over.
Okay, he's like, wait a minute. This don't make sense.
That was a good one. I would have never... Where was I?
Who's the adopted one?
Okay, Andre, I was off in the military when this happened. Yeah, I was off in the military when this happened, and it's kind of changed through the years.
All right, the next one, Joy.
Uh-oh, she told 3 untruths. Okay, so tell us 3 statements.
Yeah, she had my name.
Okay, so tell us another one. Tell us a truth. Okay, that's true. Okay, so she has a daughter.
Favorite color is black and born in California.
Ooh. Well, you done narrowed it down to 2 of them. So, Joy, that means you were born in California. That's not a Georgia name. Joy is not a Georgia name. I'm sorry, John. That's a West Coast name. Joy, that's a West Coast name. She was born in California. Is it? No, Joy is not a Southern name. You was born in California. That's for sure. That's for sure. She wasn't born in Georgia. So I don't think your favorite color is black. Oh, now why would you do that? She got on black, Andre. You just threw some salt in. You weren't born in California? Oh. John, Joy? How did she do that to us? You say me and John is confused. Like, how? I mean, me and John was like, that's not a Georgia. No. She got me on that one. I thought Joy is like West Coast. Man, I blew that one. That's not West Coast? Man. Maybe Karen or something like that. All right, your wife's not here. We don't want to talk about that, all right? We don't want to talk about when you were dating. Your Mamie's not here, okay? Uh-oh. Mamie, if you're online, I didn't mean that.
The next one, Christine R. Okay. Believers, is that what it says? Oh, believer, passionate, and you're 35 years old. Christine. Christine.
I know the answer. I can't say it because you 2 truths, 1 lie.
She's a believer, passionate, and she's 35 years old.
Oh, none of you men better comment on the age thing. None of you men better say nothing about the age. All right, guys, you sit the age one out. Do yourself a favor. Don't be looking back there like, oh, she's definitely not 35. Don't do that. Guys, you are not qualified to do the age one, so don't do it to yourself. Okay, let's just say she's a believer. We in church, you know. She's 35. I'm gonna go with that. And what was the last one?
Passionate.
She's very passionate. I believe all 3 of those.
She's 34.
Oh, look what Tasha did. Now you look at you. You see what she did there? The little butter up thing you did there. I was gonna say 25, but yeah. I know which one ain't true. She's not passionate.
She's not.
I still can't do it, John. I still can't do it. She's not passionate at all. Very unpassionate.
She's 30. She's not good.
Are you 32? Never mind. Okay. We definitely would say.
I got it. I think this works.
There you go. There you go. I like how you did that. See, I was going to say that. I was going to guess that was my next statement. Go, girl. You see what Tasha said. 32. Huh? Yeah.
Yeah, fortunately.
Oh, Bishop like told me, I knew she wasn't 35 when she said it. All right, you got any more, Destiny?
No.
Okay.
All right, I got Jonathan L. Where's Jonathan L? All right, Jonathan is, he has 6 sisters and 2 brothers. He went to school at Berkeley School of Music, Berkeley School of Music, and I'm a recording artist.
2 truths and 1 lie on there.
Do you,
2 things about this is true, 1 thing that's not.
do you need me to repeat them?
This ain't no college exam.
All right, any guesses? Number 1, number 3. number 1 and number 3 are right. Number 2 is wrong. He apparently didn't go to the School of Berkeley School of Music.
You didn't? You know, I knew there was something wrong with the way you played the saxophone. I knew it, Vic. I'm like, yeah, that's not Berkeley, you know? I knew it. You thought he was from Berkeley for sure? I see what you did. It's because he's on the board with you, right? That's why you said that. Yeah.
My last one is Kay Madden. Where's Kay? Okay, there's. Okay. Well, yeah, got it. He's got 15 siblings. He's been married for 27 years, and he doesn't lie.
I don't think he's been married for 27 years. I think it's like 30. I don't think you've been married 27 years. 3? 30. He said, oh, wow.
Oh. 15 siblings, married for 27 years, and he doesn't lie.
Read that one next. I told you. Oh, so you were. She's like, don't put me on blast like that. Right. I got you. He did the default thing. I like what you did. Really? What? That's the old school right there. That's old school. They don't do it like that no more, Tasha. No. 3 kids and this collapse. Yeah, that's old school. That's old school. 15 kids? Same mama? No. That's, hey, those, and that, thank you, brother. Those were good ones. Yeah. So you've been married 28 years? Nice, brother. I'm trying to catch you. Nice. That's congratulations. Congratulations. Did she correct you? Oh, see, she was shaking her head, yes, so I knew you was on point. Give us the secret, brother. What's the secret? See? No ifs, ands, buts about it. Wife totally agrees with you. So. All right? You ready? Since you said you didn't want to speak that much, you read those 2.
Okay. Alexis? All right. I have a degree in interdisciplinary studies. I have a sister that's 11 years older than me. I am planning a trip to Costa Rica. Yes, Costa Rica.
I know which one of these ain't true. I know which one of these ain't true. Her sister is 10 years older than her. That's what I'm going with.
She has a degree in interdisciplinary studies.
Ooh, that's not what your degree is. Is that, Tracy, is that what her degree is in?
Don't she's asking if that's what it is.
I don't think your sister is 11 years older than you. I don't think your sister's 11 years older than you. I'm not buying that. No. She is? Tricky that? I think it's the degree. Your degree is probably in something corny like cooking. She got a degree in cooking. I'm telling you, she got a degree in cooking. I'm telling you. I ain't buying that degree thing. No, I'm not buying it. Cooking, yeah. I'm not buying that degree thing. No.
Okay, well, the answer is that my sister is 12 years old.
I told you, Tasha.
She's 12 years older than me, so that's the only
I told you. No, Tricky, the 11 years. I told you. Told you she wasn't. I was right the first time. Don't never listen to the pastor's wife, John. Don't do it. No. I told you that girl wasn't no 11 years older than. But you know Tricky. No, Tricky is 11 years. Oh my gosh. You see what she did to me, Mother McGee? She set me up, John. Had me calling the girl degree corny and questioning if she even got a passport. That's all your fault. Go ahead. Go. You got one more? Tasha, I'm not listening to you no more.
I'm crying. Okay, the penmanship is difficult. Alton? Hey,
Speaking to Mike.
okay. Alton. So, went to FAMU, Florida, and what university? Okay. Married 17 years and from Miami.
Ooh.
Well, I know those.
FAMU.
I know those.
No, he got FAMU and Miami on there. That's a dead giveaway. Why would he do that? FAMU and Miami on there? Why would he do that, John? He's not from Miami. No, he's not from Miami. I ain't buying that. He bald-headed. You know how hot it is down there? It's hot down there. No way. No way. He's not from Miami. John, I like how you did that. So it's the married thing. You not been married 17 years? No, you ain't been married 17 years. I'm not buying that. No, you smiling too much. My wife not in here. My wife not in here. No, he's smiling too much. He ain't been married 17 years. So he went to FAMU.
It's the married.
No, it's not from Miami.
Yeah.
Oh, I told you he wasn't from Miami. I knew it. I knew it. How you from Houston and went to FAMU? Oh, really? That's interesting. Oh, really? Everybody migrates to FAMU from Texas? Well, I went to a very prestigious school, and it was Broome Parker, so, you know, that was world renowned. Don't do that, John. John, don't do that. John, don't do that, all right? Why would you do that? Don't do that. My school is, don't do that, John. It's very powerful school. You have to be a specialized type of student. They select from the finest, you know, so it's an honor. It's an honor. Yeah, we frowned upon the UGA students. We lowly beings. But no, family joke. But no, thanks guys. That was really interesting. Some of these are pretty good. Could have swore you was from Miami though.
No.
Oh, nice. So you've been married how long?
17.
17 years. Nice. All right. So let's kind of get into things, guys. It's kind of a warm up to get us a little loose and let our hair down. Those of us that got hair, I'm losing mine. But first section we're going to talk about is setting up a business. So we want to kind of go from point A to Z on setting up a business. And of course, the very first thing most of us decide on doing is deciding what our business name is or how you want to label your business. We were back in the office talking about some of the travails we went through over the years with that. Usually that, and you guys kind of rein me in if I kind of say something that's wrong, but usually that depends a lot on what your domain name is, what you purchase. You have to actually purchase a domain name, and it's from sites like GoDaddy. That's the one that I find to be more popular. What's some others, Ms. Weeks?
For
The domain name.
it's usually domain.com. It's
Okay.
another one.
Who would have thought it?
You keep saying GoDaddy.
Yeah,
but
I do.
Domain.com
You're right.
is the main one too.
Okay.
And that's the host of every one of them. But before you actually go through the domain, I would actually say you would have to go through making sure the name is available for your business.
Okay.
So the domain name is actually after making sure that the name of your business is registered. So it's obtaining an EIN number with IRS. And after you've done that, well, let me back up. It's figuring out what type of business you wish to be or want to be. There are four type of business: LLC, S corp, C corp, partnership, and then there's nonprofit, which is outside the realm. But out of all of those different business, most people start off with LLC, but that's just the known for majority of people because it's easier to set up and structure that business. But in my experience, it all depends on the type of business you have and what your expectations are with your business. If you're actually, it's easier to start off as LLC because it's less paperwork, it's less hassle. With S corp, C corps, and all the other business structures, you have to have board members, you have to have different board meetings, you have to have different partnerships and all of that. With LLC, it's just you setting it up and you keep it moving. So, and it's easier. Then after you've obtained the EIN, then you register your business with Secretary of State. That's as easy as a $50 going on Secretary of State and registering that business. And that's where you can actually verify if the business name is available. Because a lot of people go through all these other names or companies trying to find out if the name is available. You can do that right through the Secretary of State. Once you've done that, that's after you've verified the name is available and you register your business, then you go through and set up your domain.
That's what I just said, right?
No.
That's not what I said?
No.
I mean,
So,
I was
yeah.
close. No? That's what I said, right? She's just kind of...
What's sort of the turnaround time for finding out if that name is available or not?
So usually when you check with the Secretary of State, it's usually 14 to 20 days actually, because they'll register it. You have to list like 3 different names, and you put whether it's LLC, whatever you want, and they'll get back to you. Plus, you will set up an account, and you could get back a response within 4 days. But it can take up to 14 days. Yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah, so for anybody just starting off,
Go ahead and use the mic.
Okay. I got you.
So for anyone just starting a business, would your recommendation be to have them start off as an LLC or no?
So I'm going to say, for some reason, majority of people would start off as LLC. It's easier to start off your business as LLC. And the reason for that, like I said, is less cumbersome. It's less hassle. After you start your business, it's easy. You can switch it. I've done that with several people, depending on the revenue you're taking in. So my suggestion is if your revenue is over $150,000, you need to switch, because you don't want that tax liability coming all on your tax self. Because LLC is really considered a sole proprietor. Because if you're a single member LLC, you're a sole proprietor. So it's after a while, if your revenue is growing, which, the coach will say the whole main purpose of you having a business is for your business to grow. You want to actually switch it to a S corp or a C corp. The difference between the two, S corp is actually a double taxation. It's where all of the taxes falls under the business, but it then reflects under your personal taxes. So it's a benefit for you to switch it after, or the C corp, it's where, I switched it. The C corp is a double taxation where you're paying the taxes on the business, and then you as a member or partner of the business, you're going to be taxed too based on the dividends that you take in. So yes, I always recommend for everyone to start as an LLC only because it's less hassling. You don't know what the goal of your business, you're trying to get set up and structured, but after a while, and you see that the business is flourishing, yeah, definitely. Because you're always able to actually, with S corps, you can pay yourself as an employee. You can have investment programs under your business. You can have benefits that are tax liabilities. So yeah, tax deductibles. So yeah, it's beneficial for you to switch after a while.
Okay.
Okay.
I have a lot of questions.
Brother, ask, please.
So would you consider, maybe someone who's doing, would you consider that, I guess, that route, just sort of the standard route for anyone who's doing for-profit, non-for-profit, or not-for-profit, or does it make a difference?
Okay, say that question again.
Basically, the route that you're saying, go LLC and then switch from that point, is that something quite naturally for-profit, but would you consider the same path for someone who's considering
Nonprofit is
nonprofit?
totally different.
Okay.
Nonprofits are totally different. If you're starting a nonprofit, you have to actually start where you're setting it. The goal is for you to get your 501c3. So if you're going for the 501c3, you have to go through a different path where you're setting yourself as a nonprofit. So it's not where you're saying I'm an LLC and then going from an LLC to a nonprofit. Your goal should be that you're going for a nonprofit. Yeah.
Okay. Any more questions? Raise.
So for investment purposes, you are recommending, like, if you have multiple homes that you are renting, you are recommending C Corp for that?
So rental properties are, if you have them, a bunch of different rental properties, my opinion would be LLC. The reason why, because rental properties are different, but it would be easier to put them all on an umbrella of an LLC and have them, you know, the liabilities, because the rental properties are different anyway. But you can put them, depending on the revenue, like it all depends on the type of revenue you're taking in. Because if you have them as mortgage and all of that, it still makes a difference. But say, for instance, the revenue for your rental properties over 250, yeah, you need to change it.
Okay. And she didn't always
We'll
talk.
talk after the meeting.
Yes.
But I tell you too, with LLCs, there's also an asset protection component to it.
Well,
so,
escrow too.
well, yeah, true.
Yeah.
But like I have clients that have real estate, so if they've got 5 properties, if I'm a resident of one of your properties, and let's say you didn't maintain it very well, and there are nails sticking up that are rusted, and I stepped on one of them, and had some kind of a medical condition, and I sue you, what am I suing you for? I'm suing you for that house, all the houses you own, your brokerage accounts, possibly bank accounts, anybody my attorney can attach to you as far as making a claim, then I'm going to do that. Now, if an LLC owns that house, if the house is solely within that LLC, the only asset that LLC owns is that one property, right? So I'm able to attach to that property and help basically protect my other assets. So now I'm not an attorney, but I just been dealt with some situations. So it's good to have your rental properties within different LLCs, and I've even seen situations where people have a holding company, and they have various LLCs for the houses, and for tax purposes, it flows up to the holding company for simplification of the tax reporting, right? Okay.
Because I have a client that does that. We set up a Jackson Holding. It's a protection difference, but with the properties, we had it as we set it up as an S corp, but the Jackson Holding was the main company as the protection company. So it didn't have to be still a LLC because the revenue it was a commercial company. So because it was a commercial company, it didn't make sense for it to be considered a LLC. Actually, she was a C corp, but the Jackson Holding was her the holding company under her property. So yeah. So properties, like you just said, it is different.
And there's also an interplay between the tax professional, the attorney that structures these types of vehicles, and tax attorneys can do it as well. But there's an asset protection component. There's a tax efficiency aspect to it. There's asset management. So how do I grow my wealth, protect my wealth, right? And then effectively reduce my tax obligation legally through these different vehicles. So that's why that team approach, where it's not just you going to H&R Block, to get your taxes done. You legit want to have somebody that can help with the tax planning. How do I reduce my taxes? The asset management, the insurance protections and so on and so forth. There's a team approach that helps you build wealth, protect wealth, have a legacy to pass on to the next generation. And so sometimes we want to try to be cheap and try to say, well, how can we not pay for services or pay for this or that? That's really holding you back from profitability because you're not setting things up and structuring them the right way early on. So understanding who needs to be on that team, you know, what your ultimate goals are, you need to set those goals, something called pro forma statements, where you're saying, okay, here I am starting today, and I predict my revenues are going to be X, Y, and Z over a period of time. So maybe there's a 5-year outlook for what your business is going to look like, and you need to know all along the way. Maybe I can't afford everything on the front end because I'm starting at zero, but as I build and accumulate, I need these particular people on my team over time to help me continue to grow. So just want to share that.
Okay. Any more questions on that, guys? Talking about the differences between LLCs, S Corps, and C Corps. Any other questions on that? Get you the mic. There you go.
What if you, excuse me, what if you have an LLC set up? You have everything, your EIN, your banking, but you decide that your passion is going to be a little bit different? Can you do, so one thing I'm noodling with is setting up another LLC, or using my LLC and then doing a DBA, doing business as a certain thing.
And you can do either one if it's what, it depends on what your LLC was, your first LLC was set up as. Because when you set it up, you did state that this business was set up for this purpose. So if the new business is not the same, you may have to change it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions? Anybody, feel free. No small questions, no big questions. Makes no difference. Anybody? Before we move on? Good? Yes, sir.
As a musician, I'm trying to make sure that I'm setting up all of my things properly as well. So right now with me, you know, actually being the business, you know, as a performing artist, what is the best route to set that up? And then if I want to grow that into something else, how does that work?
So you say, as a performing artist, is your business set up, or are you just?
No, I want to go ahead and set it up.
Okay.
Right now it's not started at all.
Okay. So you're asking, what do you do now to get that started?
Right.
First thing is to go ahead and start setting up your EIN and registering your business. One of the things people can do, and they don't realize, you can always set up a business under your name. You can have like a John or David Reese LLC, and that can be your business, and you just have, whether DBAs or whatever, it doesn't have to be where you're setting up a particular business name. So with you being a performing artist, you are actually the business, you're performing. So you can go ahead and set up a business, whether it's in your name or however you want to call it, and go from there. Because I'm assuming you're getting 1099s.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So with that being said, it's better for you to actually go ahead and do that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. Great stuff. So we've gotten the EIN numbers, right? We've incorporated, right?
We never mentioned incorporated.
We didn't? We didn't, Andre? We went LLC? Oh, we didn't. Okay. That's why you're here. That's why you're here. I like what you did there. I like what you did there. You see how she reins me in?
So we did mention the list of the various different business structures.
Right.
Incorporating is where it's S Corp or C Corp.
Right.
So don't confuse.
Right.
It's still the same thing. It's
Right.
S Corp or C Corps or either partnerships, but that's the same thing. So we did mention it briefly, but it's not to say there's really not much difference. We can say with incorporating, that's why I was saying it's a bit different. If you're, you move, well, there are different steps. If you wanted to go straight to being a S Corp or a C Corp, you can register and go straight to being incorporated. If you went as an LLC and you wanted to switch, you can make that switch in your taxes.
Gotcha.
So it's not that big of a difficulty. It's just a matter of how you choose to go.
Did I confuse y'all? Y'all understand what I just said? Okay, because yeah, I understand. I just now caught what I just said when you explained it like that. So
Andre and I were like,
yeah, Andre was like, "Wait, what?" Yeah. All right. So next step. What do you think we should do next?
So after you set up the business, well, hopefully you have a business plan. You should have actually had a business plan where you're saying, okay, you have depending on the client, the business, whether it's product or service, your next step is to try to pull in some clients, get clients. So that's where marketing and, advertising and all of that. The one benefit, and I tell people, starting up your business is all tax deductible. So all startup costs on your business is deductible. So you're able to amortize if you purchase anything, whether a car, or properties or whatever, you can depreciate those over the course of the years. So that's where it's beneficial to be set up and structured so you're able to take advantage of those deductions. So.
Can you speak a little bit to vehicles in the business and the deductibility of that?
Sure. So with the vehicles in the business, say for instance, even if you didn't purchase a business vehicle, but you use your vehicle for the business, you're able to, the mileage, the fuel, any repairs, those are all tax deductible up to the life of the car. So if you purchase a new car, here's where, because I've done that with one of my clients, you purchase the car, you take that bill of sale and all the taxes that you paid up front on the bill of sale and everything, those are tax deductible as well. That's taxes paid in the state of Georgia. So it's all been, everything that you put out in the business or for the business is actually deducted.
I want to add something real quick because I think it's important. We're talking about the EINs and setting up the business. We need probably take a step back and say, what is your why for the business to begin with, right? I think a lot of times we have talents and we don't really tap our talents to the level that we should. We work for somebody and, we see that we're probably bringing in the majority of the revenue to that business, or we're a key cog in the wheel for that business, and we're afraid to step out because we would like the security of that check, and those benefits, and we don't believe in our own talents enough. And sometimes I see that, and that's a shame, and that's why we're having this type of conversation, as various business owners. There's going to be fear. Everybody at this table has had a fearful moment. Any business owner in the room has had a fearful moment. You thought you were going to get that client. We have a bad economy. The revenues aren't coming in. You got payroll. You're trying to figure things out. That's fearful. But you have to embrace it because it's a part of that entrepreneurship journey. And so your why is really what's going to drive the development of the business to begin with, and then your name. I say what's in a name. Your name means a lot. So what's the purpose of the name that you're going to create? Don't just, you can't use your personal name, don't get me wrong, but if you have something creative that speaks to the services that you provide, be thoughtful in that process. When I came up with my name, it took me probably 45 days. I think I sent it out to about 10 different people. What do you think about these names? I thought about Turning Point Financial because I wanted that to be a turning point. People engage with me, financial planning services. And then that was taken. I went out on the registry. I saw that it was taken. I wanted Pivotal Wealth Management. That's what I came up with after some thought because I wanted it to be a pivotal moment, right, when people engage with me. And you can see my logo is a pyramid because a pyramid there's a foundational component to what the things you need to be doing as first steps in a process for financial planning. I'm also an alpha. This is my bruh. This is my LB. It's my back. I'm an alpha, so there's something about pyramid with that too. So it was very intentional. The branding, the look, the feel, the colors, all those things. Because when you get excited about your stuff, right, that when you go out and talk to people about your company, the passion's going to come out. People are going to see it. So that's a part of that process. And then that marketing piece is also something very important. And Jeff is going to speak to that because he's a business development coach on the other end. But those are some things mentally you got to be in a space of why I want to do this. Because me and you talked, a lot of people say, oh, I'm the CEO of, and I'm the president of, and we're just happy to have this title.
Owner, that was me, owner and founder.
Yeah,
that was my truth. Owner and founder, man.
Yeah.
I'm the owner and the founder.
But we're trying to create successful black businesses that grow their revenues on an annual basis, that grow their earnings and profitability, that can hire people and impact the community. Those are big shoes to step into, right? And so don't take it lightly that you're going to be a business owner, but what are you going to do to make an impact on your life first and foremost for you and your family, but then you can actually take it to the next level and impact other people. And that's a big deal. So I want everybody to kind of think about those aspects as well to drive the things that you do in developing your business.
Okay, Andre, so are you telling me I got an $80,000 salary? I worked my entire life for this promotion. You telling me to quit and risk it on myself and start a business? I mean, that's what you're saying.
So what I'm saying is, if you have the talent,
I got the talent.
You got the talent.
I know what I'm doing.
And you one of the people that probably gets to the sales promotions and the promotions and bonuses.
I'm killing it for the company.
Because you're killing it.
I'm the guy.
So what makes you think you can't go out there and kill it on your own?
But man, what if I lose my house?
Well, do you have cash reserves?
I do.
Is it adequate to cover your personal business expenses and business?
A couple of years.
Well, if you got all that going for yourself, now it's time to start stepping out. Now, if you want to step out, get things started with that side business,
right?
Give yourself a certain time. Don't say you're gonna do it forever. I'm gonna say the next year I'm gonna keep working this job because I gotta have benefits for my family. But I'm gonna go ahead and start in earnest to build this business.
You're gonna put a date on it, actually.
Put a date on. We're gonna put a date on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's put a date on it.
Let's put a date on it.
Does that make you feel better?
December, I'm quitting.
December, you're gonna quit.
That's what you're saying.
December, you're gonna quit.
Okay.
And you gotta have your business plan.
Okay.
To know how you're gonna get to a place of replacing that $80,000.
So actually think about it.
Think about it. Be intentional in your process.
I see what you did there.
Okay.
I see what you did.
That's it.
You can always go back, right?
I can always go back.
If you're good at that profession, you can always go back.
Hey, they're gonna want me back. They'll probably rehire me. They would, Jeff. They'll take me back.
I do want to add, though, that if you have 401k, you can invest in yourself, and all of that money that you started off to invest in your business is also tax deductible.
You all about the taxes, aren't you? See, that's
saying.
She all about dodging taxes,
About that, but you can take, if you have your money in your 401k, invest in yourself, invest in your business.
Can I hire you as my accountant? I like the way you think. She don't want to pay no taxes.
So I don't know your name again, and I apologize for that. Andre? Okay. So I heard you talking about having a business plan. What are some things that you should put forth? Like, what are some just definite pieces you need to have inside of a written, drafted business plan for someone who's never done that?
Oh, yeah, Jeff, go ahead. Okay. So in your business plan, you want to think about, obviously one of the things is how you're going to acquire your clients, your customer. Who's your customer, right? Identify that customer, the customer needs, and how you're going to be able to meet the needs of that customer from a sales, marketing perspective, services perspective. What's your product, right? That's going to then determine, okay, well, what's the market, right? The market in a given area. So you need to know your demographic, who your target client is, how you're going to go about acquiring those clients. So that gives you a sense of, what's my cost, cost for acquisition, and then kind of create your pro formas. What are my revenue projections, right? What am I going to need in order to operate my business? If it's a service business, you might not have a lot of overhead, so that's actually advantageous. If it's a product, say you have a garage and you're fixing cars or something, and you're going to have space and equipment and all these various things. But what are the inputs in that business plan? Because that's what's going to help you calculate what your profitability might look like as you start that business. Year one, you might have losses, and those losses will be used to offset any income maybe you have from the job that you might still be at. But you develop that plan, and I believe in having understanding who your partners might be, because partnering to help you grow your business is also, to me, very important. That's something that I've utilized. I'm going to let Jeff take over from his business planning perspective to offer some additional insight.
Great, thanks. So everything Andre has said is spot on. I would step back a little further, though, to say what you really have to think about is the business, the market you're going into. Is there a market for what I want? What does that market look like? Is it only 3 or 4 competitors in it, or is it 100 competitors in that market? And if there are 100 competitors, am I going to stand out in some way, or am I going to be one of many fish swimming in a pond that's going to be dog-eat-dog, and it's going to be tough for me to grow this business and to make money? If I'm the only fish, the pond, there's all kinds of food for me to feed on in that pond. I should expect to grow and succeed. So you got to really look at the competitors. You got to look at the market. So I want to sell buggies or horse whips. Well, is that real? Is there a market for that these days? I don't know. Maybe in some areas of Georgia there are, but in here I don't think there is. So while I have a passion for making horse whips, who am I going to sell it to?
Buckhead.
What's that?
I said, you're in Buckhead.
You're in
the North.
Buckhead, you know? So I've got to look at the market. I've got to look at my passions. And then I've got to figure out, to Andre's point, I've got to kind of look at where can this go? Is it reasonable for me to think that within a year, within 2 years, I can generate, I don't know, pick a number, $200,000? Well, yeah, I think it is. And so what am I gonna need to get to that 200? Well, I'm probably gonna have to hire an assistant. I might have to hire a salesperson. You know, and you start layering this thing on. And I always tell business owners, I love for them to think 5 and 10 years out. What's the vision? Where it's, because so many business owners go in the morning, turn the lights on, turn the computer on, are in total react mode because they don't know that they're aiming for that speaker that's hanging for the wall. As soon as I know I want to go for that speaker, I immediately stop doing things that don't take me there. Does that make sense? And so the same thing with that business plan. You've got to figure out, where am I going? Because if I don't know that, how do I know that I'm making the right decisions? And how do I know that there's a market out there that's going to support my going to that speaker? Does that make sense? It's all that kind of thinking ahead, looking at the business from a very high level and figuring out, can I get there?
I just want to add one more thing. I don't mean to talk too much, but I think it's important. When you're in your business, there will be other people in your industry. Don't get in the habit of comparing yourself to what somebody else is doing, right? So they made $10 million this year. You're feeling down and getting down on yourself because your business is just getting started, and maybe you made, $10,000 this year. You got to run your race, right? And so what you're doing is you're competing with yourself. And so from year to year, you're looking at, what did I do last year? Did I do better than last year? And if I'm doing better than last year by a certain margin, maybe I want to grow my business by 30% a year, did I reach that goal for me, right? It doesn't matter if somebody else grew their business by 100% and they doubled their business performance. You set the tone with your business plan, what it is you're trying to do, and you compete against yourself. And when you keep your nose on the ground for yourself, you're going to find that 5 years from now, you're much further along, but you executed on your game plan and you didn't think about somebody else's.
Good point.
So Jeff, you just said something that's really key, that I kind of keyed in, both of you did. Knowing what your need is in your industry, because we all have a passion for what we do, but there may be 100 million people within a square block that do the same thing.
Right.
And although you make the best cupcakes, there's a million other people right up the street that makes cupcakes. So your chances of success is minimum. And I think people get drowned in a very small pool because there are so many people swimming in that pool, and they lose passion for what they're doing.
Yes.
They're not seeing the revenue, but they haven't seen the amount of competition around them.
Yes.
It's different in a rural area. You're one of. You're way out in the woods. You set up a garage in the middle of a 50-mile square acre pack of land out in the woods. There's no competition. You're the one garage out there. So you can kind of feel your way and take your time. But when you're in a major city, competition is always going to be on your heels, not necessarily like you said about comparing yourselves to other guard companies like me. I keep track of who the top 5 guard companies are because I want to know where they are, not necessarily because I want to be like them, or I do want the same revenue, but you get what I'm saying. I want to make sure I'm not beating my head against a wall that's a worldwide guard company. So if I know they're not in Buckhead, I need to go to Buckhead. So I think that kind of foresight is key, because everybody has a passion for opening a dry cleaner or starting a bakery, and they want to do it in the middle of Vinings. And it's like, it's expensive. There may be hundreds of bakeries there, and you kind of probably should have started out somewhere else. So I think that's really key, because that kind of foresight can make or break you, so to speak. And what you said about plateauing, totally correct. I thought you were talking about me, because you do hit a stage where you're running the business and you're trying to generate revenue and hold on to the clients that you have. I don't have time to look for 5 more years. I'm trying to get through this week. Like 5 years, I'm trying to make it through this month, We'll talk about next month when it comes. So it's easy to get trapped in that cycle where you're seeing good revenue, you've got a number of employees, you've got a number of clients, but you don't have time to think about 5 more years from now because your organization is kind of sucking you in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's the trap that you can get into. If I don't know that I want to go to that speaker, there's businesses, BISINES, but it can also be BUSY, busyness. And so you have to ask yourself, am I making the best use of my time, or am I just running circles? Right. Am I on that hamster wheel? Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm BUSYNES. I'm busy. I feel like I'm doing right, but I'm not going there. I'm just to the first pew, and it's been 3 years. Why? And so you have to get, and that's what I want, one of the things I'm going to talk about is, you have to get really clear on what it's going to take for me to get there. And if I'm working on stuff, busy stuff, I'm never going to get there, right? I'm busy, I feel like I'm doing the right thing, but I'm doing administrative stuff. I'm going to the post office to pick up mail. I'm going to Office Depot to get the toner. Why? That's not going to help me get there. But if you don't recognize that, you're going to stay in that first pew, and while the pastor's really good pastor, I don't know that I want to be in the first pew for the next 5 years.
That's the morning bench, Jeff.
Sorry.
No, that's the morning bench. Nobody wants to sit on the first pew. No.
So that's my point. I mean, so you gotta, I hear you, you're busy,
right,
but is it the right kind of busy?
The right kind of busy. So let me ask you this, and then I'm going to turn it over to any questions you guys may have, so prepare yourself. So I'm just starting. You just threw a lot at me. Are you telling me to start my business, I've got to know all of that? That's a lot. I mean, I've got to know where my clients are. I got to know my competition. I got to know my overhead. I got to have a business plan. I mean, I might as well just work my 9 to 5 where all that's provided for me. So give me a little piece of the cake that can kind of sum up what you're saying. And I know this is going into your presentation, but if I'm starting a business, do I need to be concerned about 5 years? I mean, I know that sounds like a silly question, but I just started. 10 years, 5 years, really?
You have to have direction.
Okay.
And if that because you can't make decisions if you don't know where you're going.
Gotcha.
So, there's a saying that you aim for the stars, and if you don't get there, you get to the moon. Well, that's more than where you would have been if you didn't have that goal in mind. So, no, there's nothing magic about 5 or 10 years, but you got to know directionally where I want to go.
Gotcha. Questions?
I mean, well, that spoke to my heart because, I just share my personal story. Before I opened my agency, I worked for another agent I worked for about 10 years. And basically, I ran the show, and he played golf. Okay? And so anytime I felt like I was unhappy, he would say, well, just give yourself a raise. Or I'll get a call, and he's at a resort somewhere in Arizona playing golf. And he was like, well, did you pay me this month? That sort of thing. So I would always be like, man, it's got to be something different. It's got to be something different. So I was like, okay. So I don't have the reserve saved up. So, okay, if I really want to do this, and it goes back to what Andre said about your why. What's your why? So started a family, got a son, and I was kind of like, well, okay, I'm working this man's business, but I'm not leaving anything for my son. So I said, so what am I going to do to change the narrative? Okay. So I went and got a part-time job at night. work half the night, go home, sleep a couple hours, and then go to the 9-hour job until I could put that money to the side to do the things that I want to do. To, you know, oftentimes, like, we have a lot of traffic here in Atlanta. You know, we're going to this person's job or that person's job, and we're sitting in traffic and we're thinking, we're dreaming. So you say, how can I make these dreams a reality? Okay, I mean, it's going to have to be some level of sacrifice to do so. Yeah. So.
And I'll just add to that. Yes, you do have options where, based on you having a business plan, you can go take that business plan, go to the bank. Some banks do would give you a upfront loan based on that. As you mentioned, SBA. SBA just started doing that now, but there are a whole lot of companies that gives you loans for you know, to start your business as well as to carry the business through. There are a overwhelming amount of loans to even, they call receivable loans, depending on the type of business you have. So it's not to say that there aren't any money or revenue out there to get it started. It's just how you go or how you look. And I think I've talked to you about that.
Let me kind of ask one question, and I'm coming to you next, Tasha. What do you guys think about a Dun & Bradstreet number when you're first starting up and building business credit? While you're incorporating and so on and so forth, one of the first things you should do is get a Dun & Bradstreet number and start building business credit, correct? I know I'm kind of butchering that a little bit, but that's the nut
Yes.
and potatoes of it.
Dun & Bradstreet, DNB number. That's like the credit for business. So,
It's
yes.
like a business social security number.
Yes. So when you do get the Dun & Bradstreet, all the business expenses such as vendor accounts, business insurance, all of those do report to Dun & Bradstreet. So that's how your business credit is actually established or is viewed. So say, for instance, when you're actually trying to get a loan, they do view that.
You guys understand what Dun & Bradstreet is? It's the credit agency for businesses.
Yeah, just look up DUNN Bradstreet, BRADSTREET. Yeah.
Okay, Tasha, you first, and then the gentleman.
Andre, you had something to add?
Well, so I want to go back to the brother that had the question, because I know you mentioned, you know, loans, bank loans, SBA. But listen, if you got a business plan and a product that is innovative, that makes an impact, that you can see the profitability of, you can. There's people out here with money, and we talk about partnership, right? So you can have somebody say, take an equity stake in my business, right? Invest in my business, and I'll give you X amount of return per year. Maybe there's a buyout clause after 5 or 10 years, but you get money, an infusion of capital that you need to operate that business and take it to the next level. So if you believe in it, then you may not necessarily have to have a whole lot of debt. You might have an equity partner that when they see that the business is growing, they might want to come back and say, I'm going to give you some additional seed funding for this opportunity to be a part of something that you're doing. I got a ton of cash on the sidelines. I'm looking for places to deploy it. The same way people invest in stocks, they might invest in private companies, right? You're doing all the work every single day, but you're telling me how you're going to go about being profitable. Kind of sounds like Shark Tank, doesn't it? Right?
I was about to say that.
So you can go out here and find money, but you got to have a solid business plan that speaks to a business-minded person where they can see the opportunity to get a return on their investment, right? So just being innovative.
So investors, right? So that sounds great. But you know me, I'm black and white. I'm Army. You can take these to people. Where are these people? Where do I look? Let's be specific. You know, so when I say business partners, investors, how do I meet these people? Who are they? It sounds like it's out in the air when you say that.
So everybody's heard of the Gathering Spot here in Atlanta? Okay, so, I'm sorry. So the Gathering Spot was founded by two young brothers. At the time, I think they were around 27, 28. They got about $3 million of funding to build out this old warehouse. And it's a hub for entrepreneurs, business owners, bankers, executives, a lot of folks that look like us, but they come from all different walks of life. And these are where people commune, right? They have lunches, they have meetings, there are events there all the time. So if you're saying like an easy way to start getting connected to things like this, you got to be able to network. You got to, you can't just go home and watch TV and wait till the next day. Go out to some of these business meetings, these master networking groups, various groups. There are different things that you do to connect with people. And when you tell your story, you might say to somebody, hey, listen, I've got a business that is really innovative. Do you know anybody that might be interested in?
Gotcha.
You see? The bankers, like the ultra, what's the banking that deals with the ultra wealthy? The private banking. So you go to a bank, any of these banks, the private banking part. Hey, listen, I've got an invest. Do you have any possible customers that might be interested in? And you can just start doing the research, start making conversation. The commerce, the commerce clubs, the various. What's the business organization here? Well, the chambers. Chamber of Commerce. The movers and shakers and people that got money are always going to be connected to organizations that are about moving a city forward, moving business ideas forward. Put yourself in the room. And when you walk in with purpose like you belong, because you do. But you share your story and you get connected to people that can put you in touch with people, or they might be the one that can actually give you opportunity to pitch your business.
Okay, go Tasha.
Okay. I have two questions of my own, and then I'll let Brother Kevin go, and then there are some questions on the live stream as well. Okay, my question is, what's the best software to use to track your business revenue? And also, I have a sales tax certificate. Can you speak on that and talk about the best way to pay it and the best time to pay that?
So the best software, I always recommend QuickBooks. Oh, Lord. But it's not free now. But if you are a business, think about it. You have to put money into your business for your business to be profitable. So, yeah. So, yeah, they have the online version as well as the desktop version. I advocate of the desktop. I don't really like the online version. Most accountants don't like the online version, but yeah, many people who are starters, they can use I always recommend the QuickBooks Online for people who, if you're not trying to have an actual accountant do it, you can always use the online version. Because it will help you, guide you through setting it up. As far as your sales tax, so when you start tracking those transactions, at the end of that, you're supposed to have a report, and every 15th of the month, you're supposed to be paying their sales tax.
All right.
Okay, I'm piggybacking on what this guy was saying right here. Now, I hear that we mentioned about funding for your business. What about different grants that's out here to help fund your business?
That's a good question. That's a good question. So there are a lot of grants out there that's available to start your business as well as to keep your business, operational. But once again, as Andre said, you have to go and look for it. There are actually a bunch of websites that have government grants. are you going to go ahead and apply for them? You know, and you have to, and also having a business, whether starting it up or maintaining or keeping a flow of business. I've worked with nonprofits, and Andre can vouch for that. Grants are not easy to get. You have to be well structured and organized to get these grants.
Yes.
So just a lot of us always talk about grants, but we are not organized or structured properly to be going for these grants.
So it'd be best to get with someone that got things together, in things in line to try to help get grants.
Yeah, but first, the question goes back to your business. What type of business do you have? What are you looking, what marketing or who are you trying to market for? Because just saying grants to go for trying to get that money to start your business, a lot of times during the COVID year, there were a lot of money that were given out to get people, business started. You might have missed that little opportunity, but now it's where you have to find those opportunities, if your business is not up and running, which I'm assuming it is. Okay, so then it's just a matter of getting your business in order so you can get that money. Yeah.
Okay.
We've got a couple of online questions that she's going to read off of
And
our
it's
live
about
stream.
grants as well. Where's the best place to look for grants for small businesses, and then are they recommended?
SBA is one of the places, and I wish I brought that list because there are another, you remember the name of, I honestly don't remember the name right now because we deal with a lot of nonprofits that do, SBA.gov is one of the places that they have a list of grants, but there's another place that you can do government grants, and there's also statewide grants, countywide grants. So it's not you're not just restricted to grant federal. There's the state and there's a countywide, but it all depends on what your business is, and you'll have to look for the grants for those type of business. Whether it's startup grants is mostly federal, but then you have to if you're up and running and you need operational grants, or you're going through hardship, or you what is it? I forgot there's a biz. Okay, see, he pulled it up. Awesome. But yeah, Grantify. Grantify is another one. Yeah, I remember that one. So yeah, there are, if you even just Google it, you can Google it and it will have a lot. Because I know I get a listing of grants because I do operate with a lot of nonprofits, and they come in and they'll tell me this grant is open at this time and how you apply. But then here comes the thing with grants. You need to have grant writers. You need to, you have people who know how to structure those. So it's not just say, how do I, where do I get grants? It now brings in grant writers.
Yeah, I'll say when it comes to grants, I chair the Morris Brown College Foundation right now. And so obviously this is on the nonprofit side. But folks, you got to do the footwork, right? You got to build relationships. So last year, I wrote my first grant, but it was somebody that I was already connected with who I felt could help me get it to the finish line. So we got $125,000, right? Now I'm going after other grants, but I'm actually recruiting 3 or 4 grant writers to the foundation because they know it better. If I've got relationships, and I've got relationships with Truist Bank. Truist has a whole division with their wealthy folks that have, they want to write grants. There are what we call donor advised funds, right? You can go to the Community Foundation for Greater Atlanta. Major cities have community foundations of people who give money for philanthropic purposes because they get the tax benefits and they want to make an impact in the community. But you can go tap into that. Now, this is obviously on the nonprofit side. They talked about the for-profit, but you got to do the footwork. So I've got grants that I got from Wells Fargo. I'm about to do some with Chase Bank, so your major banks have grants, but your purpose of your organization has to line up with what they're doing, right? So you get, again, footwork, research, and building relationships.
The next one online, when you talk about a 5-year projected plan prices and things change by day. How do you plan for that?
Well, you can't plan. You can build into it an estimated price increases, right? You're never going to guess it head on. But the mere fact that you're thinking ahead, that you're planning, makes it easier for you to adapt as things change, right? I mean, football teams historically have always planned the first 15 plays of the game. They may not get to, there's a lot of variables in there, but having it laid out means that all you have to do now is execute. You don't have to plan and then execute because the plan's already made. Does that make sense? I mean, so you're never going to project, you may be the only gas station in your area, but next week another gas station could move in next door. Who would have seen that? But the mere fact that you kind of have thought about where I want my business to go, how am I going to get there, will help you even with a gas station next door. You follow?
I want to shoot this question to you, Jeff. So let's say that, I'm rocking and rolling, got my business started, everything's going well, but I have hit that plateau that you spoke about. So what are some things that I could do to maybe take my business to that next level? And then I want to kind of come to you and really kind of talk about asset protection and things of that nature, because that's very important as well.
Okay, great. So what I was going to get into,
you can go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. We're done.
So we have to understand the difference between urgency and importance. Urgency is something that's important to someone else. They're coming to you with an urgent situation. It's important to somebody else. It's not important to me. Important is what's important to me. And what happens is a lot of business owners, when they're so caught up in the day-to-day of their business, dealing with what's urgent to other people, that they neglect what's important to them, right? They you work all day, you busy-ness, and you go home and you say, hey, your spouse, partner, daughter asks you, how was, man, I was really busy today. Great, what'd you get done? And you kind of scratch your head, because it's all little stuff that's not important. It's important to other people, but it's not important to you. So the first thing I always suggest with owners is to get a handle around, where are you spending your time? And I even recommend sitting down and doing a 15-minute time log. What am I spending my time doing? Because my bet is most business owners don't know. And when you start tracking your time, you start seeing, golly, look at all this little stuff that I'm doing. And what impact would it be on my business if I could hire someone, a virtual assistant, I could hire someone part-time to take all this stuff off of me. Then I've got all this time now that I can start thinking about what's important to me, which is growing my business. And it starts there. And then it's, okay, so what am I going to use that excess time for? And that's a whole nother conversation. But that, to me, is a big piece of it. It's getting a handle around where you're spending your time, and are you spending your time doing things that will make a difference in your business? Because my bet is right now you're hitting a plateau because you're doing stuff, the daily routine stuff of the business.
Owner-operator.
Owner-operator.
Yep.
And well, nobody can do it as well as I can. Well, you got to get over that.
Yep.
Because if you can't get over that, 5 years from now, you're going to be in exactly the same spot. And so you can't that says you've got to hire people that you have confidence in that you can have them do this stuff, which then says, get out of this habit of hiring anybody that comes in the door. Don't look for average people, because you get average people, you're going to get average results. And so you got.
Jeff, are you talking about me?
Well, I read your bio this morning, so.
Well, I feel like everybody talking about me.
Right. There's that saying, you hire someone, you don't just hire to fill a seat, you hire the right person to fit in the seat. Right. And I've worked with owners that they would hire people to fill a vacant seat, and 6 months later they had to fire that person, or the person left.
So you are talking about me.
I am talking about you. And you get on that, now you're on that, now I got to go back, I got to find them, I got to recruit them, I got to train them all over again. That's wasted time instead of taking the time to another month or two until I get the right person. Then if I treat them right, they're there for years. And then okay, now they can do those little things I was doing, now I can go on them with something else. Does that make sense? And when I've worked with someone that was plateaued, he'd been in mail order, 18 years, was about $1.5 million, had been at that level for 4 years, and because he was afraid to hire people. He had tried hiring people, they didn't work out, he fired them, and so he was scared to hire. Once we overcame that hurdle, next year he's going to be at $8 million from 1.5 in 4 years because he got people that could do the work. Long-winded, sorry, but that's a big piece.
That's true. I mean, Miss Weeks, she's looking at me side-eyed every word you say, Jeff, because it's just recently that I hired out a team. I mean, I hired supervisors. I turned over all accounting and payrolls to Desnita and Miss Weeks, and it's been light years better. I mean, I feel better. I call the supervisors, and they're like, why are you calling me? We got it. I mean, we know what we're doing. And it's like, wow, I mean, I feel like I'm grown a little bit, you know? And it makes you feel good when you let go of what you thought you couldn't let go of, and it still gets done without you. Who would have thunk it? You know, it still works without you. And then, like he said, you can take on other tasks that actually grows the business. Because he's right. You hit a wall, you got employees, you got a steady streaming of revenue, you got good clients, but you have no time to get other clients because you're so busy trying to run the business and hold on to the clients you have. So you got to hire a team. And the right team, Ms. Weeks looks at me like crazy because she knows when I'm on the phone, fire him, get rid of him. And it's like, but you hired him. And it's like, I don't want to talk about that. Just fire him, you know, and it's like you got to choose better people. So, true. Andre, anything?
Yeah, so we talked about this the other day, not being afraid to fire people, but you know, needing to hire people. And we had talked about failures.
We talked about failures.
So one of my failures in business, like I told you all earlier, you know, you're going to have failures, embrace them, but also learn from them. So I got to the busy place, traveling, doing some speaking, talking to people in different places, and you know, I had a client that was looking to transfer $1 million to me for assets under management. And at that time, I was just so super busy because, you know, some of the stuff that deals with where you place the money and all that falls on me to make those type of decisions. But I didn't have any of the paperwork stuff. Just think about it. I lost $1 million account for paperwork and timing, right? Mm-hmm. So when that happened, I said, wow. Time to sit down and rethink some things. I got to hire some folks.
Yeah, you got to get the team right.
Get the team right, right?
Yeah, so Damascus role experience.
Yeah. So that, you know, what's the cost, right? Now, if the person got $1 million, what other assets might there have been in that whole process? Right. So I apologized profusely, and it was on me. I didn't make any excuses. You know, alphas, we don't make excuses anyway. But I recognized the flaw in my thinking and a part of what I wasn't doing in my business. And so you start coughing up money to be able to cover those things. But guess what? It takes you leaps and bounds forward when you do those type of things. So don't be afraid to spend that money because it's going to benefit you in the long term.
Question? Someone over here had a question. Mother McGee, you had a question?
I have a question, and I also want to say why I started my small business. Okay, I am 70 years old. I started my business at 68. It only was 2.5 years ago. Glad I woke you up. The one with the blue on, she looked like she was going to sleep. So, anyway, first of all, I prayed about it. And the pastor over there and another man, I stood right there and say, I want to start this business. But I prayed about it. And if we'll take prayer, if y'all don't know about prayer, it's going to take prayer. And do what God tell you to do. My business, I'm in the porta potties. I do porta johns. I buy them myself and I rent them out to the construction site. Everybody says, oh, okay. That's a nasty job, but that's what I do. All right? So now, I buy myself and I rent them out. All right, now what I did, I started my business on my credit cards. I had a lot of credit cards with a lot of money on it. And I started. Nobody didn't give me anything until I got to my tank. My tank is the one that sucks the waste up. And it was a really big amount of money to me. It was $9,000 at one time. And that's the only time I went to Wells Fargo Bank for that. But everything else, I bought my truck, I bought my potties, which was $500 some a piece, I bought 6 at one time. I went for it. But I prayed and asked God. Everything that Accountant Weeks said, I'm glad to meet you. Never met you before, but glad to see you. But everything I started, I don't know nothing about a business. I never had one before. I don't have anybody in my family that in a business. So all I can tell y'all, it was God. Okay, I left from a nanny job for 23 years, and my money was very, very low. In 2020, I asked God, I was going to be retired. I said, Lord, I need more income. So I prayed. So with the name, I had to do all of that. I'm the Secretary of State. I am licensed. I got sanitation. All that y'all talk about, I have it. QuickBook, I got it. Did it. Got accountants, I got it. So the Lord just blessed me. First of all, and I don't mind by telling because this is going to be my testimony, it can be you all as well. I started off in 2020 with $5,000. That's all I made. But the Lord spoke to me and told me I have to put the Lord in it because he just said everything you do, you need to talk about God, y'all, because we wouldn't have did none of this if it weren't for God. So I'm a prime example of that. But anyway, so the Lord told me I was in Wells Fargo Bank, and there's a lady was in there. Don't mind by saying it. She was talking about a website. I said, Lord, I don't know about no website. What is that? So y'all, yeah. See, everybody don't have to be educated and can be low tech, but when God is in it, you can be blessed. Okay? You can be blessed. Everything, you know, and that's good. But I'm here to tell y'all where I started from. And he said, why? Because I didn't know I needed more money. And I love giving and helping. And I knew that after leaving the nanny job, I just only had Social Security, wasn't going to do what I needed to do. So I prayed. So in Wells Fargo Bank, and I do have the LLC to my business well. Y'all talked about that, but I hadn't went up further. But I see myself going there. Being my age, I see myself going there. First year, I made $5,000. 2021, I made $41,000. Y'all ready for the next one? 2022?
500,000.
80,000.
Go, girl. You better go. Look at God. Let me hold some money.
Nobody but God. Nobody but God.
Mother,
Nobody but God. Do y'all understand what I say?
Can I borrow $10,000, please?
No, you better ask for 1,000.
Please.
Better ask for 1,000.
Just 5,000.
He know me. My pastor over there know me.
Did you
You
pay your tithes and offering?
That's all right. I got everything. And one thing I told God this. I said, if you bless me, I'll bless your house. Now, y'all may not, but I pay my tithes. I'm over 7,000 in 2022 for tithes and offering and more. I do that. I told him, see, you have to be clear, because God knows you. I said, if you bless me, I'll bless your house. So now it can be this house, this is where I started, here. It can be somewhere else, but I would bless God's house. And I make sure I do that. I have stood up and give $1,000 what God, and it has to take it. because that's me. So I don't put it all on what you know. It's what God wants to do for you. I got 2 sons. I don't know all about this business. I'm learning. That's why I'm here, to learn. That's why y'all here to hear my testimony, because y'all just talking and talking, but I got a testimony. I do have a testimony. Yes, I got one, because God had blessed me to have this, and I had no idea about no business. Okay? I counted the weeks, didn't know nothing. But the Lord blessed me, Kevin. Kevin talked to me. He told me something. But really, how did I get help was from here to there. And folks helped me because I didn't know. And I think all of that was in God. God did it all. He's still sending me. I'm here now. But she just learned me something right here. Just talking to Joy. Just talking to her. I'm willing to listen. But just talking to her, she learned me something else to do, because I share my testimony. So y'all feel like y'all want to help this old lady? Y'all do so. Give me I'll give you my card. Give me a call. Tell me what you think. But pray now. Don't come with me know all of this stuff. But I want you to make sure that you acknowledge God, because that's my life. My life is Jesus. And I'm not going to do this now. I go out and work. I work 2 days a week out of making that money. Now, guess what? I don't make about 6 hours a week. That's all I work. I work for myself, and I only make about 6 hours a week. So think about 2022, and you add that up, y'all smarties, all y'all there. Add that up, 6 hours a week, times the whole 12 months.
That means you could lend me $10,000.
And I mean that I made $80,000. But it's 2 days. I'm not behind no desk. I don't do this. I just go out and work. And now, and I just started another business. Just started from the ground. And it's good to know where you come from, Jonathan. Because you know what else? The man that helping me, I used to be his nanny. So don't burn the bridges that you come across, always. He the one got this here. He got millions over him. He got billions. I mean, he in the real estate. He got 9 banks here, and he in the real estate. So he the one that's got me out there. And it doesn't matter about how many fish. I know it's a lot of parties out there, and they billing everywhere in Georgia. But God still got a special place for me. And for you all, too, who don't know. He got a special, may not be in the party business, but God always got a way out for you. So make sure you put God first. And I got all of that in line. I'm going on. She told me, Counter Weeks gave me some idea. I went on further. I got the QuickBook. I got the accountants. And I'm fit to get that other, what that other name? Yes, another name.
Oh, the Dun & Bradstreet?
No, y'all didn't mention that too much. CP?
Oh,
S-Corp.
No.
C-Corp.
No, it's another countess. It's up. CPA. CPA, that's it. So I'm going on up to there. Y'all know, y'all see y'all want to go way up there. Let's start from the little bit.
Get you a CPA.
Yes. See, y'all want, and I'm going to find out all about that. I'm moving. But you have to have a goal, and you have to have a why. And the why was I wasn't making enough money. Now I can learn, Kevin, $15 to $20 now.
No,
maybe
$10,000.
Okay.
Not $20.
Okay. Now I can learn, Kevin, $1,000.
No, I said $10,000.
I can learn, Kevin, $2,000. That's where I'm gonna go.
You see how our seniors, they don't want to. They don't want to hear
like
sometimes.
Because everybody know where I started from here. And I was proud, and you thought I had a lot of money when I was a nanny. It didn't shout stop me. Did it?
No.
Did it stop? You never know, did you? I did what I had to do because I was always in God. So it never stopped me from giving. Nobody, I always thought I had a lot of money. Everybody think I had a lot of money. Now I can't say I got a little change now, y'all. Y'all pray, y'all think about me.
Mother McGee. I think there was a misunderstanding. It was not $20. It was $10,000. We'll talk later. It was a misunderstanding. It was not $20. We'll talk later though. We'll get the amount straight. Anybody else got any questions? Because we're getting down to the part where we're going to wrap up with Jeff and kind of go have lunch where you can guys kind of talk and mix and mingle with these guys. Anybody just got any questions, period? Anything about anything? Sure.
So I hear you talking about persons who are transitioning from like doing their 9 to 5 to maybe starting a business.
Yes, ma'am.
And they might not have the reserve. Is there any vehicle that you know of that could provide some kind of loan, like an interest-free loan or something like that, to help the person to start up the business? Some persons might be investing or have some money put aside for a while, or in some kind of vehicle that might accumulate something that they maybe can get like a interest-free loan from it, or something to help them to start, or to help to replace their income to get the business up. Do you know any vehicle that may offer that kind of,
What, so wait, you're talking about a loan, and I heard you say interest-free loan. I don't know if those really exist. I know that when people have retirement accounts, but you're saying there's no assets elsewhere. Right? So you have cash value life insurance, right? That's correct. That is correct. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. So you can. Okay. She's a full-time nurse. Yeah, so she mentioned cash value life insurance. You guys are familiar with term life insurance. Folks have heard about that, yes? Term life insurance covers you for a term of time. 20-year term will cover you if you die during that 20 years, and you got $1 million policy. The $1 million goes to the beneficiaries. But after that 20th year, policy ends. I've actually done term life insurance for pastors of churches, to protect the ministry. The pastor passes away. That's the key way the money comes in, but after that period of time, it's gone. But one church actually got $1.5 million to be able to complete their build out for a new facility, but it's limited. So the cash value life insurance, and there's different types of life insurance. You guys probably heard about whole life, index universal life, and then variable life. Those are the prime areas. But they can accumulate cash value that you can utilize in the future without having to pay any taxes on it. And so what happens is you pay your premiums and cash value bills. If you pull money from the cash value, the first dollars that come out are what you contributed, those initial premiums. Well, those are already after-tax dollars. So you don't pay any taxes on that. It's like a return of premium in a sense. But then after you've withdrawn what you put into it, and if you got some excess cash value, you then switch over to loans. So that life insurance policy will loan you money from the cash value that you don't have to pay back, but you also have to make sure that there's enough cash value in the policy, check the fees and everything to make sure you don't draw it down so it goes down to zero. But I've got people that actually do tap into their cash value policies to go out and buy real estate. And then they'll refinance that property and then put the money back into their policy to go do it again, right? So I don't know if you guys have heard of the book Bank on Yourself. That's a strategy where people say, hey, utilize cash value life insurance, bank on yourself. So instead of going to a bank and having to pay interest, you can pull money from your own account and not pay interest on it and use it for whatever business or what have you, whatever you need. So yes, that is possible. It just depends on, and there's certain companies that have really good cash value life insurance policies, but you also have to be able to overfund it. So I wouldn't recommend that. I mean, that sounds good, sounds like a great idea, but if cash flows or surplus cash isn't really adequate for you right now, that's not the way to go. You want to protect your family, you want to just get term life insurance. Why? Because it's the cheapest form of coverage, and that'll be the most protection that you can have at a given point. But I've got some clients that put $100,000 away into a cash value life insurance policy, but they make $1.3 million a year, right? Different situation. So it's all situational as far as what works. But I don't want people to get caught up, and I've seen this a lot, where people get these permanent life insurance policies, and people are telling you, oh, well, you can put your kids through college with a cash value. No, you can't if you're doing $200 a month. It's not going to work.
No.
And that's a person trying to get a commission on a policy. So you need to be educated on what actually does make the most sense for you as far as suitability. So if you got 3 kids at home, trying to put them through school, trying to make sure that there's money to raise them, you need as much coverage as you possibly can get. You need term life insurance in a scenario like that, okay? So be careful. It is possible to utilize that, but be careful and make sure you structure it correctly. Start at an early age, overfund the policy, and with kids, I've done some policies where parents say, I want to do something for my children that I can pass on. They might do a permanent cash value life insurance policy, but they're doing maybe $500 a year or $1,000 a year or something like that. But then you eventually pass on the cash value and the death benefit to the child at some future date. Okay?
So,
what's that? Yes, it is an option. Yes.
So the question of funding has come up a couple of times, and I think there's no magic bullet to funding. Much like Alton, I fund my company out of my revenue, and it's getting to the point where that's not sustainable. But starting out, I did everything out of my own pocket. I wouldn't suggest everybody do that. I burnt down my 401k, took the tax hit, and I started my business, and that's how I got my springboard. That's not the best way to do it. But in some form or fashion, I funded my own business. Now, what he said, I don't want this to slip through the cracks because success leaves clues. When he says, look for networking groups that are in this game and looking for partnerships to fund and help grow businesses, that's how Uber got started. That's how Facebook was started. These people were in rooms talking about their business idea, and he said, hey, man, I'm kind of doing the same thing. Why don't we kind of go in together? And that's now Uber. So funding is something that you're going to have to go and get. You're going to aggressively have to pursue funding. There is no magic bullet where somebody's going to show up at your door and say, hey, I thought I might just give you $10,000. You know, I like you. It's not going to happen. You're going to have to approach banks, sell yourself, sell your business plan, make it make sense, have your ducks in a row, and take a chance of them loaning you a significant amount of money, $7,500, $10,000, whatever you need to get started. You're going to have to Google these business meetings and groups and get some of these guys' business cards and say, hey, I'm going to shoot you an email. If you know anyone down the road that's looking to invest in a young entrepreneur, please send them my way. That's what these formats are designed to do, to introduce you to people that can put you in a network of people that do said things. Because like Mother McGee said, none of us have the wealth of knowledge to compete with Ford. We just don't. So we rely on the network of friends and people that we know to introduce us to other people. But I will tell you this. I'll tell you the main reason I see a lot of business fail. It's right here. Jeff touched on it. What do we do with this? The majority of the times that we talk on this, is it business related? How much of this do we use to conduct business, and how much of this do we use to... So if we just cut down about 50% of the chatter on this, and if I had to say, let's just say this, if I said for a whole week, don't use this unless it's business related, would your phone ring or work? If it wasn't just business, all week long, would you talk on the phone if it wasn't just business? Oh boy, that one hurt. Oh boy, hey, Pastor, I'm preaching, brother. Hey, get the collection plate ready. I'm preaching. I'm on fire. And that's true, because honestly, these guys will tell you, when you're running a business, your time for other things on this goes away. Look, I can't. Not today, man. I got a couple of clients I got to get to. You look up, it's Thursday, and all you've done is business all week long. It becomes all-consuming. That's why a lot of billionaires, millionaires are divorced, lonely. You know, they're angry all the time because the business consumes them, and they don't want to do anything else but business. Now, I'm not suggesting you ruin your marriage. I'm married to an attorney, and that's probably not. I don't want to get a divorce because of my business. But there has to be, roll your eyes again, see when I come back there. There has to be a certain, you have to, please revisit that, what you said. Track your time about what you actually do during the day, because I didn't do that until this last 8 months, and I kind of keep track, of what I'm doing during the week, and a lot of it is true waste. Like, a lot of it is watching TV, I'm playing on the internet, I'm playing video games. I got this little baseball game I play on my iPad, and I look up and I've wasted 2 hours out of the, don't tell the employees that, Ms. Weeks. But it is true waste. It's true. So Andre and I were talking about the failures and the fear, but are you truly giving your business 100% of a chance? Most of us can't say we gave it 100%. Now, we give it about 40, you know, and, oh, it's not working. It's not working. I tried, but it didn't work out. But you were on Facebook most of the day. You were talking with your homeboy. You went to the Hawks game. We was talking about the UGA game. All right, Andre, I'll talk to you tomorrow. No business. Andre's in business, you know, but I just called him to talk about the Falcons. So it's that kind of reprogramming that's going to put you in proximity to get loans. Because when I call one of these people, it's about business. I mean, look, hey, it's business. And those conversations lead somewhere. So, Alton, what you were talking about, you cannot be an island of your own. You've got to get into a pool of people, and this is kind of like the Shark Tank. We gotta put that name up there the next time. You got to get into a group of people that you can bounce yourself off of, and you can say, hey, if I were coming to you as an investor, what would you think? Tell me some things. I'm going to pitch it to you. Tell me, would you give me 10 grand? Boom, 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 boom. Man, that's brilliant. I would invest in you. Well,
can I talk? So there's something that we haven't talked about today. We have a formula that says B times do equals have. In other words, what do you want to have, and then what do you have to do to get it, and who do you have to be in order to get it?
Say that one more time. B
times do equals have, or flip it around.
Right.
Have, to have what you want, who do you have to be, and what do you have to do? All we've been talking about today is the do side. Right. We haven't talked a bit about the B side. And you can't expect the banker who, if you can't talk, if you're not educated in business, bankers aren't going to lend you money. No. Nobody's going to lend you money. You're not going to be able to run your business successfully if you don't make a concerted effort at educating yourself on how to run a business. I mean, how many of you read business books? You know? Okay, good, excellent. I would bet most people don't read business books, and they expect that, well, I know what it takes to be a business owner. Having never been one before, they don't know. And so you have to make a concerted effort. Read a book a month around how to run businesses. Read a book about how to sell. Read a book about marketing. This is the sort of stuff you have to learn, because you can't achieve so again, that formula, B times do equals have. If your B is 0 because you haven't done anything, that equation means your have is going to be 0.
0, right.
Right? You can't achieve the have if you stay where you are today. And so you've got the whole thing, you've got to focus on the B and what do I have to do in order to achieve what I want to have. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense.
Because a lot of people, we've been talking about, all these grand things, but you're missing the biggest piece, and that's you. What do you have to be? And you talk about being in God. Perfect. That's great. there's more. I got to be careful what I say. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I know what you're saying, Jeff. Go ahead, Jeff. I know what you're saying. Go ahead. Go ahead. Talk freely. Go ahead.
So,
he said, "Oh Lord, I know where I am. I got to."
One of the things about being a business coach is you know when to shut up, and this is one of those moments.
No, seriously, go for it, because I know what you're saying. I can believe in God, and I have faith.
So you have to make an effort at growing yourself, right? I mean, no one won a gold medal in the Olympics without a lot of hard work, training themselves. That's what you got to do, because running a business is not easy. And it's going to, Andre talked about, having your why and why it's important, because there are going to be times when things are going to get really difficult. And if you don't improve your skills as a business owner, as a business person, you're going to have a hard time getting through those tough times.
How do you improve your skills?
You read. You attend seminars. You get trained. You go on YouTube and listen to some of these noted authors. That's what you need to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you.
So I have a question. We haven't really talked about online businesses. So, for example, I work from home professionally, but I have a side hustle. So, with my business, you gotta start somewhere. So obviously, it's like my goal to be a full-time entrepreneur. This opportunity for a full-time income jumped into my lap. So my home office was originally built for my business, but now I'm also using my home office for my job. Are there any issues with that?
There will be some issues. Yeah. So you built it originally, as you said, for your business, but how much percentage, or what's the percentage of work are you putting into your business? That's where it will come down to. Because if you're using it solely for your job, then you can't, it's a conflict. Your job, it has to be a different office, because is your job compensating you for that space?
I don't know how to answer that question. I mean, I had the opportunity to work remotely. So whether I work in the kitchen, the bathroom, so it's just like, it's kind of a kludgy. So I don't know if that was like a legal question or...
So a lot of times, some jobs, especially after COVID or during COVID, they were giving out money because you had to work at home.
Oh, no. So it's like I get the opportunity to work from home, but they're not funding it.
They're not funding it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but your job is solely at home. There's no brick and mortar where you can go into.
Oh, absolutely. So there's an office, but it's like, I only need to go in the office kind of as needed. So
yeah, it's a conflict.
Okay.
And IRS will view that as a conflict. You can't use the same office that you're doing your work at home or your job for your business. So what it will come down to is when you're filing your taxes, it will come down to the percentage of time that you spend doing your work, your business.
How does she separate that? Choose another room in the house?
Yeah.
You see, girl? Hey, there's a room across the hall.
No, I mean, seriously.
Put you a little chair and the computer in there.
It's just as bad as when my husband and we have a business. He has a business, I have a business. When COVID happened, I had to move my office because his business was there. So I moved mine from upstairs to downstairs so it doesn't there's no conflict. Yeah.
That's good. The other part of my question, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go for it. Go for it.
Clearly it's like I have an online business. So it's like my laptop could be used for that business. Can I use it sometimes to check personal email?
So it's solely online. Okay, so with it being solely online, granted, you still have, because you're going to have the internet,
there you go,
the phone, all of those are expenses that's cumbersome to your business. So you still need an office, because granted it's online, you still need to have an office to check your emails and your business. Yeah, so all of those, you still need an office.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
we can move it to your bedroom.
I might have to.
Hey, Antoinette, I'm going to make it real life for you. Hire her. And you won't have to worry about none of this.
But you can move it to your bedroom.
I don't even want to know. She just tells me, look, don't do that. Do that.
I just want to say something real quick. You know, Jeff talked about the B. You guys want to know the secret to being successful in business?
Good questions.
Here's one of the key secrets. And it's going to sound kind of weird, but it's give first.
Mm-hmm.
You know the problem when people don't know how to network? When they come into a room and they pass out the business card like spades, they haven't made a connection with anybody, and then they go home and they expect that people are going to call them to do business. See, when you sow into somebody else first, like sow into the ministry, you give first. Give of your first. I'm going to give y'all a real example of what happened in the last just 24, 48 hours. Last night I got a phone call. It was a voicemail. Derek Booker referred me to you for a consultation. That was him sowing into my business. I just met today Miss Weeks from somebody that I know that's CFO for Morris Brown College. We have a really good relationship. So she basically referred me to Miss Weeks to build a possible business relationship that came to me being here today because she invited me because Mr. Reese told her about it, and I came here today, right? Mr. Reese and I had a conversation and about business, and we got excited because you know how black folk are when we agree about something, be like, oh no, me too, you know, like I don't, you know what I'm saying, you know how we act, but that was a whole connection, and so now I'm here today. Joy has her own company, Curated Joie. Some few years ago, she had told me that she was looking to make an adjustment and wanted to get into some real estate. I thought about, wow, I know somebody that she needs to know. I had a meeting. I said, you know what? I know somebody named Joy you need to talk to. She came on with that, one of the largest real estate firms in the country. But guess what? She poured back into me. Now we're working together now because now she's doing some things for me. But she poured back into me. I went to Turks and Caicos for a speaking engagement because of somebody she connected me to. You guys see what I'm saying here? It's a village. It's a synergy. It's people who are happy to put you on, so to speak, to introduce you, to help you, and it always circulates back.
Yeah.
Book has put me on to some people. I've helped, trying to put him on to some folks. Now I got Miss Weeks. Everybody in this room, people that I know, as you build relationships, I know somebody that needs security. In fact, I told you I'm the chair for the Morris Brown College Foundation.
I got to get that contract on
that
campus.
Get that
contract.
After we connected and we talked and vibed like that, I already thought, and he didn't even know that I was thinking, maybe I could use his security company. Talk to the president of the college about possibly having something like that in place. Now, that's what happens when you build relationships and you connect with people. But you always give first. I never come into a room saying what you can do for me. Once you tell me what it is you do, I know somebody you can connect with. Book, I'm going to try to, the pastor and the CEO of the church, maybe he can offer property and casualty insurance for the church. But you're always thinking and being intentional about helping somebody else, and it always comes back tenfold. Most of us out here grinding and hustling and trying to figure out how we can sell and market our product. You multiply it when you have that type of mentality. Now, that's worked for me. Folks, I'm probably going to see 7 figures in the first quarter of the year because I've got some relationships with people that are referring me, but it's reciprocated with them. They're making probably $250,000 or so off of me because they're CPAs and they don't offer financial planning services like I do. So I came in saying, hey, how would you like to have some money come to your bottom line within your practice for business and services that they're going to need anyway, but they're taking it someplace else? You think they're going to say no to that? So I'm sowing into their business, and then it reciprocates. So that reciprocity, give first. When you go into a room, the network, don't talk about what you do. Be able to listen. We always want to talk about ourselves. The most likable people in the world are the people that listen, because somebody's going to say, wow, that was a great guy. You know why they say it's a great guy? Because you listen to them talk about themselves. That's the secret, right? So that's how you build a business. Of course, you do these other things, but who are you and what is your mindset? You got to be willing to sow into others so that they can be successful. They're going to like you and want to sow into you, and now it becomes a community thing. And we're making an impact because everybody's successful in their own lane within their business. Just want to share that.
Mother McGee, did you hear that? That means you should give me that $10,000. That's what I heard from what he just said.
So to everybody at the table, I did have a quick question for you all, specific to, I think what you had said, Jeff, B times do equals have. What are some things that you suggest we could read, different books or what have you, that we could read that would be instrumental in changing our mindset. Obviously, the Word of God applies to all of these things, but some things outside of that, just books, maybe videos, what have you, that you think we could watch or look at that could sort of change our mindset from the 9-to-5 grind to putting us in the right space for going after that particular business.
So great question. There are a couple that I would recommend. There's one called The Success Principles by Jack Canfield. Canfield is the one that wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul. You have that one? Mm-hmm. And it's all about your mindset. Another one is, I think it's called Start With Why by Simon Sinek. So to build on Andre's point, it's all around your why. And it's, people buy the why, your why. They don't necessarily buy what you do. Like think about Dell, or think about Apple. Apple their why was counterculture, breaking the status quo, and they designed machines around that. So those are two that I would recommend. I would also suggest that, I think it's called Start With Why by Simon Sinek. He's got a fabulous YouTube video out there I think it's about a 10-minute video that talks about the why. And I would try, if I can take a little bit of time and say, one of the biggest things that we've talked about, I think Andre mentioned mindset. Mindset is huge in this business because you are going to encounter challenges, and if your mindset isn't strong and in the right place, you're going to have some difficulty. And identity is a key piece of that. When you say the word "I am," what follows it? For example, to steal on Ms. Weeks, a lot of times when I go to networking events, people will get up, CPAs will get up, and they say, I'm a CPA. But they own the CPA practice. And they don't say, I'm an owner of a CPA practice. They say, I'm a CPA, which means that they should be doing the work of a CPA, which means that they're going to be doing tax returns all day long, which means they don't have time to get and think about growing the business because I am a CPA. It changes dramatically if they say, I am the owner of a CPA firm. Now I've got owner in my head. I'm not saying that I'm doing the work because owners don't do the work so much. So as you're going through the day, what are you telling yourself as to who you are? That to me is huge. Are you in sales? I had a real challenge with this when I first started because I had those negative voices in my head that were saying, you've never run a business before. Why would somebody hire you? And it took me a couple years, and I had to continually tell myself that I am a successful business coach, and affirmations. And over time, that began to take root. So I would encourage you to do the same thing. Think about what are you telling yourself who you are? And if it doesn't line up with where it needs to be in order to run a business, change it. Change it. Whether you use affirmations, whether you use visualization, whatever it is, recognize it and change it. So I kind of went off on a little bit, but those are two great books. So.
Then once he direct me, like she was saying, I'll let you He told me to do it. I asked him through prayer, and I'm acknowledging him, and I feel like with God help, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. All things. Everything. That's what I feel. Regardless of what, I can do it. With my age, I can do it. See, that's one thing. Y'all young folks up in here. I'm old. Thank God for being old. But y'all young people. And this business not even 3 years old. And I thank God for how he done brought me this far and put me in a place where I can make this money. Because other folks is everywhere. Yeah, my name got to get out there. But with y'all help, we help one another. Like you're saying, help. I help folks. There's a lady, I'm just going to share this with you all. There's a lady called me. She's a realtor as well. She's stayed in Maybell, Georgia. I never seen her before, but she ordered 2 parties for me for an event she was having. And that's how I got a chance to meet her. So I had noticed that she would give me a little short text. I'm the same. How you doing? I'm the same. Merry Christmas. Okay. And I said, now this don't sound like her. Never seen it before. But the point was that I felt like something was going on. What was going on with her, she couldn't walk in a whole month. She lost her business. Her house burned up. And immediately, the Lord spoke to me and said, send her $200 to Cash App. I never seen her. Now y'all say, that's me. That's what God told me to do. See, the reason why I'm saying that, y'all need to realize that when you act on what God said, he will bless you. He will bless you back. You cannot give enough. So I immediately had never seen her before. I just met her last week, but I had not even seen her before. But I sent her $200 because of she had lost. It didn't pay for everything she had lost, but my heart just went out for her because what she had told me she had done. And I sent her $200. So I do give. And I give to folks I ain't never seen before. Because God do that. He blessed me. Not everything is for my pocket. It's for me to help folks. I give folks money, put $100 bills in people's hands. Even at church, even not at church, I do. And so so God said, when I said to God, I will not get enough money in Social Security for to do what I need to do, because you know you put within me a giving spirit. So I need more money to be able to give to the church or to anybody that may need my help. So that's why he blesses me. So y'all, young men and young ladies, you want to help me and whatever you want to do for me, pray for me too. If you can't pray, then I pray. But because I'm going to acknowledge God. But you want to help me, y'all didn't never speak on what I said, but the thing about it, it wasn't a joke. It was something for y'all to realize that God is blessing regardless. And if you can help me, let me know. And I will, Kevin and I are good friends as well. So let me know what y'all can do to help me grow my business as well. Maybe y'all can recommend somebody who wants some porta potties. That's what I said. Yeah, who knows?
All right.
Right? Am I right?
That's right.
Who knows? Who? Well, I got this sister, her name's Sister Dolores McGee. She got a porta potty service. Can you help the black girl? Yeah.
We just gonna say porta potty. We're not gonna black girl part in there. We're gonna leave that part out.
I just want to let you know. Well, you know, it's a radio, 102.5. Who listens to that? They say it's a certain time you're supposed to help in your black community, help your black peoples out. Now, don't y'all hear that? You don't hear that? It's 102.5. They say it's a time to invest in your black people business. Thank you. He listens to the radio too, and he listens to the gospel too. Yeah. So we supposed to. So that's all I got to offer y'all. I don't have anything. I don't have nothing. But y'all can bless me.
You got plenty.
If you know somebody.
You got plenty.
All right. Y'all can send me someone. I got some cards.
What now?
Y'all know somebody? I can make that 100,000 next year.
Mother, Andre said
2023.
you got to start by giving. So can we talk about that $10,000 you're supposed to give me first? Now, ain't that what you said? That's what you said. Hey, the man said start by giving. That's what you said, right?
That's right. And I just said I give, right? And I help.
No. I'm talking about my giving. I'm talking about my giving. You had
I'll just
another
ask really quickly. So knowing that I have a home-based business, this is a question for Derek. Should I be thinking about insuring my assets a little bit differently? Do I need a separate insurance policy for business-related stuff, or can I put it under my personal? Just was.
Definitely, you need a secondary policy for the business, having a home-based business. I mean, let's say a scenario, I ordered something from you. It got lost in the mail or whatever, and then you tell me, so well, okay, well, I see that you don't live too far from me. Come by here and pick it up. Okay. Say I slip on your front porch. Okay. Not only am I going to sue you on the personal side, I'm going to sue you on the business side as well. Okay. So yeah, you definitely should have separate policies for the business as well as your own.
Alexa.
Do you want to also add what the business covers? Because some people don't know that the business coverage also covers collections part and all of that. Yeah. If you don't.
Collections, it covers a lot of things. Cybersecurity, it covers, I don't know, say if you have a employee or someone working on your behalf, say if I write a negative a post about you or something on Yelp, okay, and then you have someone else that decides to that's answering your Yelps or whatever, and they decide to personally go after me. Okay, well that's a lawsuit. I mean, it's a litigious society, so you want to protect yourself.
Hey, Book, can you talk a little bit about umbrella insurance and what that covers and what that is and how people might want to consider that for additional asset protection?
Umbrella insurance. Anyone that has kids, okay, I have a 4-year-old. Okay, so we have a lot of play dates at my house. So let's say we have a scenario. You bring your kid over to the house. Let's say it's about to be spring. So say it's an ant pile in the yard. Let's say if that ant bites your kid, he gets a fever. You have to take him to hospital. Had to stay a couple of days in the hospital. You lose time from work. You have those hospital bills. Okay, well, you brought him to my house. Okay, who are you expecting to pay for that? It shouldn't be a choice that you should have. You shouldn't have the ambulance bill. You shouldn't have that. So that bill should come on me, all right? Okay, so what if my regular homeowner's insurance is not set up in a way to cover those charges? So that's where that umbrella policy comes in hand. Okay, it's an umbrella. It's meant to protect you from everything. Okay, and when we had our son, I kind of told my wife, I said, okay, well, I'm going to bump up the insurance. She was like, well, why? There's no need. You're just trying to make another additional commission. I was like, no, it's always scenarios. I'm like,
my own wife.
My own wife, and she's spending all the money. So I'm like, but okay, say if you have a puppy, your puppy is the sweetest thing in the world to you, but not to me. If your puppy bites me, I'm gonna sue you. I'm gonna say it might be cute, it may be a small scratch, but I see an opportunity there. And I deal with those kind of cases on a daily basis. And so.
Just brought something up. I got the neighborhood children. They don't start playing in my yard now.
Oh.
So my wife told me, Kelvin, keep them because they get hurt in his yard. Their mom and dad are gonna be trying to sue us.
Right, it's your fault.
So I don't have that umbrella.
That umbrella. Mm-hmm.
Most are just insurance from my house and everything. So. Should I put signs up around my house say no trespassing? I got about 5 or 6 of them now, 2 doors down. I see where I got rocks all in my driveway, in my trailer. They've been playing all on the trailer. So I don't need nobody to tell me I got to come to court and I got to be sued and all that.
Okay, well, okay. So say if it's a 25-year-old man that comes in your yard, and he just trespassing. But say if he can't read, and you have that sign clearly posted.
He looking like, come on, man.
That will happen.
He's not gonna just pop up in my house.
well, ultimately we hope that doesn't happen. But if he can't, you're still liable because it's your property.
So what should I do? Get that umbrella, talk to who I'm with?
Right. You should get that umbrella, or you should review your coverages. Oftentimes, we're always looking for the cheapest policy. All right. You know, and I get that. Everybody's trying to get by, but you know, it may cost you in the long run. You should probably be reviewing this information on an annual basis. Most people, we get it and we forget it, right?
Don't want to look at it.
Yeah.
Don't want to look at it.
You know, you call and say, oh, it went up 20%. But, you know, by the same token, I was telling somebody yesterday, I was like, well, I love eggs. So, you know, last year I paid $1.50 for a carton of eggs. Yesterday I paid $4.25 for it. I still want my eggs. You know?
Alexis.
Okay, so first, I do just want to acknowledge y'all and thank you guys for coming out and spending time with us today. But I have like a pretty light question. It kind of piggybacks off of mindset. So obviously you're going to go through some trying times when you're trying to start up a business and things of that nature. So how would you say that you guys went about trying to prioritize self-care? Because that's really important, because you don't want to be, as much as we're always working, you don't want to be just boggled down and weighed down and you're not, caring for yourself. So what were you guys doing in those times? And then how would you, what recommendations or tips would you have for a person that's trying to juggle that?
Boy, you stumped the panel. Hey, they all looking at grabbing the microphone like, I don't want to touch that one. Because the truth is, Alexis, that's a hard one for most business owners, because I do a midnight workout. I go to the gym 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning sometimes, and that's just freakish because most people they business, sleep, and they wake up 400 pounds. So you're right. I mean, it's no good in building a business and you're dead at the age of 50. From a heart attack. So, you're right. It's anybody got anything to add?
Mine, actually, I have a spa date that's scheduled every 2 weeks. I'm on the books for massage and my nails, because I have to treat myself every 2 weeks, because I'll do work long hours, but I have kids, I have a husband and family, so you have to try to balance. That's one thing you do have to learn, is to balance. I'll tell. There are times with the clients, because I have clients that will call me from 5 o'clock in the morning. And yeah.
That's not me. I don't call.
No, you're not. And others that will call all the way up to 10 o'clock at night. And I was like, I had to learn to set boundaries for myself and for my family, because I'll get on the phone, answer the phone at 10 o'clock and be there talking about their accounting or their taxes, and overlook my kids or my husband. So balance is one thing that you learn as a business owner. Secondly is self-care, like you said. Some people don't know it, but I had to learn it after a while. So my main thing is, like I said, I spend time in the massage parlor and my nails.
I would add to it, the one thing you ought to do is to think about, look at on Sunday night, look at what is coming up in the following week, and think about what it is you want to get done. And I want to go work out on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Okay, Tuesday evening, workout, put it on the calendar. Don't leave it up to getting there and then it's Tuesday evening at 6 o'clock and it's raining out, and, put it on the calendar. If you have, with kids, for us, our 2 kids were the most important things we had. And so we would always put down when are the rehearsals, when are the softball games, when are the baseball games, and I work my business schedule around that, because that's the most important thing to me. So but the fact it's on paper kind of reinforces it up here, and I still forget it sometimes, but I'm not as apt to forget it, A, because I'm looking at my calendar, and B, because I took the time to write it out. And prioritizing it, right? So I've got 10, I can't do 10 things today, but I can do those top 5.
Yes, and don't forget yourself when you plan. That's so important. That's also to be written down.
Okay, last one, guys, after this one.
No, I didn't have a question. I was just going to speak to what she was saying about self-care.
Okay.
One of the things that I had to do was to make sure that I knew what self-care was for me, because whereas it may be a spa day for her and going to the nail salon, when I go to the nail salon, everybody wants to talk to me. I have a sign on my forehead that says I'm a psychologist, talk to me. And so that was not downtime for me. That was work, you know, so I had to figure out what that meant for me and how that looked in order to make sure that I was really doing something that was helping me to wind down and to get away from work so I could have that reprieve and not adding more.
And it's funny you say that. I'm going to let you speak because my nails shop, she's shaking her head. When I go in there, it's like Miss D.
Let me ask you about my taxes.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Taxes
I knew it.
and questions. So, yeah, they are always, I am always on the phone. I'm like, I'm sorry. You're doing exactly. I'm like, I'm sorry. I have someone in my ear because I get overwhelming questions. But one thing I didn't do is at my massage parlor is let them know that I'm an accountant or I'm a CPA.
That's good.
And I did that because I just want to go in and just, you know, relax. I'm coming for a massage. I don't want to be answering questions about, you know, any of those. I just want to wind down. So yeah, that's one of the things. And another thing, like Jeff was saying, I do have kids and I have kids that are ball players. So David and everyone would know that I'm a mother before I'm a CPA. I'm a wife before any of that. So all of that, last week I had to travel with my computer doing college visits. So you do get flexibility being your own boss. So that's another privilege.
Hey, you call me on Sunday, you are fired. That's career suicide. Don't call me on Sunday.
That's one thing I was going to add to that is that you think about going to work for somebody that you don't like going to work for. To me, that's stressful.
Mm-hmm.
So the entrepreneurship gives you flexibility. Yes, there's work. Yes, you have to fight through, fearful times or whatnot. But the fact that I can say, I'm going to take off on Wednesday and go down to Miami for a few days, or I'm going to go up here to Chateau Alon and just, for myself, just some me time. What I found is it actually the two kind of mesh. I'm going to relax and hang out, but you always find, because I'm in the money business, you always find that the business owners, that the other wealthy folks, they're there, and they look at you like, okay, if you can be here on a Wednesday, you might not be working for nobody. So in the conversation, so what do? Now, it only happens a couple times, but now I've got a new meeting. So I've got my me time, I'm chilling, but I might have had an hour-long conversation that creates another opportunity, and I got my little elevator pitch, right? Somebody asked, and I'm not forcing myself on anybody, but you asked me, so here's what I do. And then they're going to say, what about the stock market? What should I be doing? It always comes up. I'm cool, but I know I can say, hey, well, I got to go. I got a spa appointment. I can leave it. But I'm always in the mindset of I want to keep my business going and new opportunities. But I'm the owner, so I can kind of say, I'm going to put aside this time for business development. The rest of the time, I'm chilling. I might go on a hike, do the things I like to do. But I think having your own business gives you that leeway to have that type of flexibility to be in control of what that looks like.
You were working while you were on vacation. I caught that. All right, you're cheating. All right. So guys, we're going to wrap up. Obviously, we can't get to everything today. I suggest to you guys while we go downstairs and get lunch that you mix and mingle with these guys, get business cards, get a contact that you can email and shoot questions to during the week, and get a business relationship and a contact and a mentor by all means. So let's go grab some lunch. We'll try to do this again. Obviously, it's a vast conversation. I don't think we even got through it all, to be honest with you, but it's almost 2 o'clock, so we know we want to be respectful of time. So we'll try to, we'll try to get another one in this year, so we can kind of keep this going. And when I say this year, I don't mean December. So we'll figure out a good time to do this again where we can kind of do another segment and kind of build off of what we've done here today. All right? All right, so guys, let's go downstairs and grab some lunch. Hey, Andre, I do the same thing, man. When I'm on vacation, I'm like, man, that looks like a good place to need security right there.
got it.